Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Wasteful Wednesday. I'm David Sponheim for AmericasThirdParty.com. Many of you are watching our show nightly now because you want to stay ahead of things and find out what's going on in the world without having to get confronted with mainstream media and commercialism and all that. Welcome. I'm not motivated by money. I'm a non-materialist, so I've never really added money as a component in what we're trying to do here. I realize that donations are not going to necessarily fly in a tough economy, and I recognize that this is an ongoing show which I enjoy doing. So I dedicate my time every night to forging a political movement to challenge the corrupt two-party system, with evidence that their corruption goes way deep into the recesses of American politics. The possibility that Hillary Clinton may be connected to something as atrocious as Pizzagate is getting a lot of people concerned. We touched on Pizzagate last night and the Podesta brothers, and my entire show was censored. 2 hours we were shut off the Vaughn server as we played or tried to play Pizzagate videos. And you probably know that Twitter and Reddit are already shunning any mention of these words, which means we're living in a country censoring no different than China here in America. And Hillary Clinton, she's a lot to answer to. Whether she's guilty or not of any of these weird emails that showed up in the WikiLeaks release or not, she doesn't have anything to worry about because Donald Trump has already said he's not going to prosecute her, which is strange. We've got a lot of things to talk about tonight. We've got millions of people watching us now. And I must tell you, it's a little overwhelming to see so many people viewing our show. But I've been kind of working on developing this show for years, so it's a nonstop effort to do this. And because it's so easy for me to do it, I guess I'm the right guy to do it. It's like the right people get together and have an organic conference online, and that's us, people watching. Now, as you know, I have been censored heavily in the mainstream media, and my efforts are not being ignored by the American people, but we're not even hearing about anything about America's Third Party in our mainstream media. So your talking about us around the world is really helping quite a bit. It's going to reach critical mass eventually, and we will get some interviews from American journalists who are willing to be strong and risk losing their job, because my efforts are not going to stop. We're going to do this all the way till I get to the White House to fix the problems that Bush, Obama, and soon-to-be Trump are creating in this country of ours. I don't believe that Trump has the mental acuity to solve the problems facing our country, and as proof of that, I argue that he stole 10 of my ideas, which I've been doing for 8 years here in America, simply to win the election. And a person that does that doesn't have the ability to navigate through the BS and the cronyism and the corruption that's going to be descending upon him while he's during his transition period. So, Trump saved 1,000 jobs at Carrier with a phone call. 1,000 jobs is not 24 million jobs that Trump has promised. So he has 23,999,000 more jobs to create in America. Yep. So Trump was taken from our show on a nightly basis, and I'm almost overwhelmed by the brazen nature of this guy as he continues to roll out statements. Yesterday he had a Twitter match going on, which is very immature of him to do, considering he is the president-elect at this point. But it really makes no sense that he would endorse taking away a person's citizenship who burns a flag. Now, I am never, ever going to burn a flag in my life because I respect flags. But I respect something just as important as our flag, and that is our Constitution. It's written in this book right here, which, as you can see, I have a perfectly nice little plastic bag to protect my Constitution. And in it, there's a thing called the First Amendment, and it really means something. Trump hasn't read the Constitution. He doesn't understand the First Amendment, and he doesn't understand the simple fact that the Supreme Court ruled recently, within the past decade, that we virtually cannot possibly, thank you, welcome, We can't take away a person's First Amendment right to burn a flag. First Amendment protects it. It's freedom of speech. Yeah. Now, if you were taking a dump on the flag, you'd be charged with obscenity. A woman recently took a dump on something in public. I think it's something to do with Trump, because she was so upset that Trump was elected, and he's planning on IDing Muslims and creating deportation forces and all this stuff. It's just absolutely atrocious. So she took a dump in public. You know what I mean by taking a dump, right? All right. Yeah, you could be setting a fire in a public place. That could be a law against you. Yeah, but you can't have your citizenship taken away. And a simple proof of the mindlessness of his tweet. Ask yourself, if somebody has their citizenship taken away, which is what he's purporting people should do, what would their citizenship be? Ask yourself that question. Okay, I'll take a look at Wilbur Ross in a second. Guess 1111. So what would be the citizenship of somebody who had their citizenship taken away? Anybody know? Non-citizen? Official world non-citizen? I mean, there you go. For only $1, you can get the paperback sent to you. The same thing I was just holding up for you. There you go, right there. And 99 cents, you can read our Constitution online. So if Donald Trump can't read it, and you can buy it for 99 cents or $1, respectively, then what good is the Constitution if we let people like Trump take over the presidency? It's not 8 years of Trump. Believe me, we'll be unseating him in 2020. He won't last till 2020. I don't think Trump's in the works for another run here. Plus, if the election recount in Wisconsin goes forward, it does look like Hillary could have a chance to still be our president. All right, so we're going to go ahead and look at the news here. We got a lot of things to talk about. You know the woman that stepped out of her car and tried to keep these cops from shooting her husband? You remember this? The Charlotte woman? In the shooting death of Keith Lamont Scott, she said he didn't have a weapon. She still contends that the weapon was planted on her husband. Look at this video. It'll be shocking. Well, the cop just got released of any liability. They found him not guilty of killing her husband in public. Okay, apparently this video is not playing. Okay, well, we won't look at the video. I think you guys may remember the video, but we've got a little problem with it playing. So we're going to go back out of there and just look at the case. Apparently, a lot of people are upset that the Charlotte police officer who fatally shot Keith Scott acted lawfully. He won't be charged. And again, the wife said that he didn't have a gun. It was planted on him. So here's a planted weapon on a guy, a black guy that police shot, getting no justice, fueling arguments that America really is on the verge of civil unrest with bad decisions. I did not vote for Jill Stein. I voted for in Hollywood, that is a bannable offense. This is your last warning. Well, I'm glad the CIA is watching me. The NSA is watching me too, and so is British Royal Intelligence. They've been watching me for 8 years. We even have a guy from the FSB, Russia's FSB, comes in here on a nightly basis. I think they pay him to come in here. They are shocked that a person with 185 IQ is standing up against all status quo media Goliaths and building a worldwide audience while they're sitting around censoring me. They're shocked that a person with 185 IQ has come up with great ideas that Donald Trump is taking and using to win elections. They're shocked that a person with 185 IQ has the temerity and willingness to go out on a limb and take a bullet for this country. They're shocked that a person of my stature is actually trying to save America. Secret pizza party? What's this? This guy looks like a whatever, yeah. So yeah, they're quite shocked that a person with my intelligence is actually trying to save the country. Isn't that amazing? Trump has an average IQ. It's not tested at 160. That's a lie. The CIA and NSA learn a lot of you, Dave. Wake the masses up. Thanks, Rectal. We're going to help the NSA and CIA as well get a new face on their agencies when we have a third party finally take a position in this country and not be taken over by some con artist or fraud. Mitt Romney called Donald Trump a con artist and a fraud. I don't think you need a con artist and a fraud with low and average intelligence to take this country over. I think you need a person who's brilliant, who can solve the problems facing the nation and show other nations that we can lead by example and not push our imperialist power all around the world like Donald Trump wants to do. Not increase military spending at a time when we need to be austere with our military spending. Donald Trump has already said he's going to increase military spending. It's crazy. He's trying to put Palin, he's considering putting Palin, Sarah Palin, in the job of Veterans Affairs. Yeah. Former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin is under consideration to serve as the Secretary of Affairs Director, Administrator. Palin aide told ABC News that Palin told Trump's transition officials in recent days that she feels as though the megaphone I have been provided can be used in a productive and positive way to help those desperately in need. I wouldn't doubt Sarah Palin's going to run a Wounded Warriors fix for the veterans. They spent more money on their parties than they did on the veterans. Over $320 million were raised by the Wounded Warriors, and they ended up giving a paltry sum to the veterans. They seem to be able to do this legally. Sarah Palin seems like that kind of a person. It doesn't seem like she's going to really help veterans. She's never served in the U.S. military that I know of. We need somebody who's a veteran to help veterans. Okay, I don't think calling a person's mom out is appropriate here. Meta-nemesis. Wow. What you got? The death toll rises to 7 in the Tennessee wildfire, folks. Amazingly disturbing fire that just ripped through a community in Tennessee mountain area. 7 dead, likely to be human caused. The deadly wildfires that engulfed 2 popular tourist towns leading into the Great Smoky Mountains National Park left at least 7 dead and hundreds of buildings damaged or destroyed. It is a terrible toll. At least 53 people were treated for injuries at hospitals, though their conditions are not known. The fires are estimated to have damaged or destroyed more than 700 homes and businesses. Rain provided some relief. Good. Search and rescue teams were ongoing Wednesday in the charred, smoke-choked mountains. Mudslides, rock slides, we're going to be okay. They were able to, apparently they were thinking that it was caused by some sort of an arsonist. Unreal. Wow. So these videos just don't play on these sites, so we're not going to bother with them. Nope. Jill Stein is just a Green Party suck-up. The Green Party doesn't offer a complete comprehensive platform like we do. We're going to be updating our platform for 2020. I'm still working on that. But, yeah, Jill Stein, she's riding the coattails of the Green Party. I'm not big on Jill Stein. I think they need to do a lot more to provide solutions for America. But, if the recount goes forward, at least Wisconsin will find out if Trump really won fair and square. 2 killed, 4 hurt in Baltimore. Another shooting. See, people around the world are watching this saying, man, America's a very unsafe place to be. But in most communities in America, it's not like this. But 2 people were killed and 4 others were injured in a shooting Wednesday outside a grocery and deli store in northwest Baltimore. A lone gunman came around the corner and fired upon the people standing outside the business. Baltimore Police Media Relations. Smith said 1 man shot multiple times was pronounced dead at the scene. Another man who was shot multiple times died at the hospital. Could have been a gangland hit. I love to show you how the media does not do any spell checks. In America, this is supposed to spell outside the business at the time. It says outheista. Somebody's getting a little sloppy there in their journalism. Okay, moving on. Charlotte police, we covered that one. Palin under consideration. This is a story we showed in our pre-show that's worth looking at. The creator of McDonald's flagship sandwich, the Big Mac, has died. That's right. This man has died. This was taken 8 years ago. Can you guess how old this guy is? Anybody? Guess his age. And please don't give out people who just came into the show. How old was he in this picture? Okay, time's up. Let's see what we got. 98, 52, 77, 56. He was 90 years old in that picture. And he just passed away at 98, eating a Big Mac a week. Isn't that amazing? Eating a Big Mac a week. His name was Jim Delegati. Michael James Jim Delegati, and his family's putting him to rest right now, but he ate at least one Big Mac a week for decades, and he lived to be 98. He's 90 in this picture. I mean, if you look that good at 90, you know, William Shatner looks about this good, and he's about 90, isn't he? No, he didn't eat anything but the Big Mac. I don't have any information on whether he ate McRibs. He puked the Big Mac? Really? You know a lot about this guy. Well, he ate 4 Big Macs a week, you're going to die of heart disease. Remember, he ate 1 Big Mac a week. You're missing the whole point. You know, gerontologists have determined that if you cut your intake down in half, you'll live twice as long. I would love to answer your question, 926. Let me get to it. Well, that's the problem. Your question is 6,000 words back. And unfortunately, there's no search feature in this. Could you just repeat your question? Because I purged you earlier. Okay, Mr. President, where is Sarah? Sarah won't be in until about 7:30ish. She's got a little thing she's doing tonight. Oh, so you think that William Shatner is getting bald? William Shatner is an icon in American history. Born in 1931, he's aged 85. And you're telling me this guy's 85? This is 2014. "85 years old. I am not drinking in a Chinese cup. This is an heirloom. The Power of Botox. This is an heirloom from Red Robin. I got this with my mother back in 1999. We went shopping at a local mall, and I was taking her around town, and we said, let's go get lunch. And back then, Red Robin had a lunch menu that was amazing. And we had lunch there, and I got a free cup. And I'm a sucker for a free cup. And I still cherish it. Your question was muted earlier. Again, what's your question? 926? Let me see it. Dave, why don't you support Trump if he's using your ideas? Because I don't support a man who has Vladimir Putin on speed dial. I don't believe that his business connections should be operating in the White House. Taking 10 of my ideas is a deplorable act and should probably be punished, not endorsed. Do not promote any type of a scam here, because this is a scam-free zone. You can't push commercialism at all in this chat room. Rapidly emerging new alternatives to Facebook and Twitter because of the censorship are popping up. You guys probably heard of Gab.ai. Well, there's a lot of these things popping up because the internet can morph when pedophiles try to censor the media. People that think that they control the media don't. Yeah, never fear. There's alternatives. Goodgopher.com. Yeah. Gab.ai. That's right. All developed by people who are free speech advocates. Scene.life. This is good news. See, the morphing of the internet to respond to the direct censorship of the American people is kind of what we're doing here. We're building an alternative, a bypass. Okay. Man stole a 1.6 million in gold flakes when the police were not looking. Watch this. This is amazing. In real time, right off a CCTV camera. Man steals bucket carrying 1.6 million in gold flakes. And his face is all over the news. So, yeah, he's out of there. So if you've seen this person, there's 3 different angles of him going into the Loomis truck and grabbing it. Contact the local authorities ASAP. Yeah. That's a pretty ballsy thing to do, don't you think? He must have been desperate. No, he was smart enough to not have his face on the camera. Yeah, look at that. It could be anybody. But they've got an angle from this side. Then he grabs it and sets it there, and he figures out what he's going to do with it. Well, good luck catching this guy. Wow. Dave, Real Man wants to... Please, don't go there, guys, you know? And don't promote any type of money-making scheme here. Who would leave 1.6 million gold flake there with an open door? A guy who just lost his job? Yeah, he looked like a refugee who's now going to start out with a brand new career in America with 1.6 million in flake. That's a guy we need for president? A guy who steals gold flakes? I don't think so. Can I hit grown-up women, please? Salty Dog, don't ever say you're going to hit a woman. I'm a guy with a 185 IQ, that's right. Boy, you people are kind of catching on. You listen to the chat and you respond real well. Good for you. I don't know. I'm not deranged. I'm a very grounded individual and wouldn't be able to do this for 8 years if I didn't have an iron constitution. The show has an amazing effect on a lot of people. Yes, I am a genius. What I've been doing is kind of a nonstop reveal. Yeah. This guy, Paul, reads Secret Pizza Party. Let's just take a look at this.
Hi, I'm Paul. I'm going to be reading Secret Pizza Party by Daniel Salmiari and Adam Rubin. Poor raccoon. All he wants in life is some pizza.
Give me some pizza.
I think this guy has some repressed issues that he needs to deal with. I'm not sure what it is. I don't care about his voice. The whole idea of a pizza party book and a guy like that reading it is a little strange to me. I don't know. Maybe he's a chicken hawk Republican. Do any of you know Paul? He has a family reading site with 16 subscribers. I don't know. Hey, let's just pick on everybody in government tonight. What do you say? Including Trump. I do have 185 IQ. If you want to check out my IQ test, it's on my site. I printed the results, which you can analyze at another site if you really are inclined. You can look at the results that I have, and I have the actual test results. Go to davidsponheim.com, and you'll see my grade point average was 4.0. I took an IQ test when I was 15 years old in 11th grade. Now that meant simply that I skipped 7th grade. And in the process, they assessed my intelligence, and I found out I had a genius IQ in certain areas. Obviously, if you top out in the genius IQ area of one particular area, you're a genius. I have other issues. People have said, hey, we looked at your test. It looks like you failed in one area. You have a difficult time learning new things. It's very interesting. Man, I was like, yeah, it's true. I mean, I don't like to studied programming. I'm not a person who's inclined to write an app for tablets. My genius isn't in that area. My genius is in opening a big, broad perspective. I have visual graphic skills that give me the ability to see small errors in pictures that are almost identical. Spatial reasoning abilities that give me a command over a large area. I could look at a crowd and I could spot 2 potential assassins within 2 seconds. It gives me an immediate edge over others. When I walk into public areas, I can look around and within a nanosecond know how many people are dangerous in that area. I can virtually profile them based on their characteristics and facial constructions. Only an Android could do that. An incredibly advanced Android. So that's why some people are believing on Reddit that I am an Android, that in some way I am a hologram or 3-dimensional graphic representation. Now Trump is making a big move. He's saying what...
Peter Juicy is live at Trump Tower this morning. So a lot to get through here this morning, a lot of news popping. So first to the announcement on the Trump organization, though, that came out mid-morning today, Peter. So why did he not announce this sooner, and what do we expect he will do here?
Martha, the president-elect said this morning that he doesn't have to leave his business by law, but he doesn't want there to appear to be a conflict of interest, and he wants to concentrate more on actually running the United States government. So he says legal documents are now being drawn up to remove him completely from the organization with his name on it. And he says that we're going to get more details about this at a press conference in 2 weeks on December 15th that his kids will also join him at.
Okay, well, that's good, because he was in direct violation of laws requiring him to separate from his business. No, I don't think spotting Waldo is a genius thing to do, but I have other genius qualities. I have an analysis ability, a system analysis ability, which gives me the ability to find flaws. Flaws in the big matrix, if you will. I should use my matrix glasses. It gives me the ability to spot errors in the matrix. Mr. Anderson! Mr. Anderson! It's possible that there could be a small statistical anomaly. Perhaps humans could have unusual abilities. The simple fact is that if you look at all of the government waste in Medicaid and Medicare, you will simply find massive fraud if you look at the details. You see, the details, Mr. Anderson. It's the devil is in the details. That's right. Thank you for giving me information. No, Trump didn't drain the swamp. He irrigated the mother. Good point there, 379. Yeah, in fact, I would almost say that Trump is the lizard in the swamp. And he's realizing from people out here like myself, who's saying flat out, you can't run your business and conduct affairs of the White House, and he's finally capitulating. Isn't this interesting how I've led this story for about 6 months now? Well, they're allowing me more viewers because they no longer worry about me taking the election away from Trump. That's what the censorship has lightened up on Vaughn's side. Plus, it's possible Mark Vaughn, who they say is a patriot, may really care that the freedom of speech here keeps going. We need more people in the news. We don't need puppets. We need people in the news that are solid, that really stand behind what we're doing. Yeah, you can go ahead and check my record out. I ran a blackface video in order to get noticed because I noticed that there's a tremendous amount of censorship. We do not want, we don't not want government to be run by a privateer, a person who's simply trying to make money on his business. Well, welcome, world audience. Yes. Good evening. Right, the news is obsolete. Social networking is the new media. And we're in a very tight race to keep the message alive tonight. So, if I don't give you some information that would shock you, I think you'd feel like you were, cheated or something. What if I told you that the DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, wants new facial recognition cameras in airports. Yeah. Well, that's the only news that pops up. That site is literally frozen. I can't even get to it. So I'm going to give you the link to it if you want to find out more. I'm kind of moving on here. I'm so sick of Trump already either. I mean, the fact is he's caved in to my concerns about him doing business in the White House. It's almost as though he's watching our show and saying, what would Dave do? Now, we have a threat in the room that says, end your campaign or face serious consequences. You see that? Look at how badly they're trying to keep an honest man from becoming president of the United States. Look at this. See that, folks? End your campaign or face serious consequences. Wow. Unbelievable. You see, the numbers are astronomical, and people around the world are saying, why is this man not trying to get in? How come no one talks about him in the media? Because I am censored and have been for some time. Really? So some of you are having a kind of a choking effects when hearing about the cabinet he's picking. Is anybody coming to mind that's really freaking you out? I'm not against Department of Homeland Security. I'm concerned about it resembling Germany, Nazi Germany. They had a Department of Homeland Security too. Thank you for viewing me from Angar Africa. I maintain my caste very well. In fact, I'm going to start by banning you, Pollywood. That's he got it, yeah. Pollywood said he has 11 guest accounts here. Well, we'll go ahead and ban him. And you know something? If you do something else to these guys, it makes it harder for their dynamic switcher to work. Pollywood, I'm going to purge you as well. That'll make it harder for him to come back online again. Ed Sheeran reveals deep scar after being slashed in the face with a sword by Princess Beatrice, who pretended to knight James Blunt. Wow. This is serious. Princess Beatrice has revealed there has been some sort of an amazing occurrence. Yes, why are we featuring the UK news? I think we covered that enough. It's going to hijack my RAM if it continues. You just got banned from Bob's channel for defending you, Dave? Wow, 317, welcome. Get a username. Come on in. Join the Vaughn Network and you become a user. Not an abuser. Princess Beatrice is a paycheck? Is a psycho? I did not know that. Why is it I do not know anything about Princess Beatrice? Wielding a knife, scarring somebody, she stabbed the pop star. Princess Beatrice of New York. Well, look at this. Yes. Here she is. And here is the gentleman that had his knife slash his cheek. David, you talk, move, act like a complete gay. How dare you make such an assumption? I can heart her idea. Yeah, very huge idea. Okay, so at last in our bewildering world, there's a reassuring news. A sinister buffoon may about to become the most powerful man in the free world. Our country may be staggering cluelessly into an uncertain time. Ed Balls may have become a cozy national treasure, but in one area at least, the old standards are being maintained. Members of the royal family are still behaving like twits. Until this past weekend, some of us may not have known or cared about Princess Beatrice. Is she the one who looms up at the royal ascot in silly hats, or was she filmed doing something dodgy with the fake sheik? Now we know. Princess Beatrice is the daughter of Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York. She has just carved her name in the history books by stabbing the singer Ed Sheeran in the cheek. So it's true. A stab wound to the cheek. She's pretty famous, yeah. Well, her mother and, the whole thing. You want to now talk about her father, Princess Andrew? I mean, Princess Andrew. Did I say Princess Andrew? Prince Andrew? Yeah, let's bring up Prince Andrew, Donald Trump, and at Jeffrey Epstein, all in one sentence, like I just did. David, your bottom lip looks like a ball sack. Who taught you how to speak this way? I just can't believe some of the people saying these things. Dave, you should be royalty. How do you know I'm not royalty? Sorry. Yeah, I was just doing my little royalty impression. Okay, Justin Trudeau wouldn't pay ransom and had Canadians killed by the Philippines. Yes, I heard. Yeah. Justin Trudeau was very, very happy and elated to become the leader of Canada, but at the same time, he made some interesting promises. He wanted to bring in 25,000 refugees, which makes no sense. He also wanted to legalize marijuana, which does make total sense. And I think he wanted to actually endorse Castro, which doesn't really make sense either. He sent a very tear-squelched apology or condolences, thank you, to the Castro family. His family has a castle in Europe, really. Whose family? My family? My hair's doing great, yeah. It's amazing how the image of my hair is continuing to appear fresh. I'm looking up things here. History. Trudeau. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, that picture doesn't exist. Interesting. Okay, just checking up on things. We started with a really bizarre opening tonight. A site by the name of Women of Color Speak Out. And we hit the button and listened. And all these people started talking about the red line in Seattle that they've created. This is Women of Color Speak Out. And all these women are actually speaking out and telling their life story. And this woman was very vocal in front of a large crowd in Seattle.
Get a little serious, I want you all to hear this. With respect to the Duwamish, upon whose land we are speaking, we are here on December 12th. 200 world leaders have come together on the last day of the COP20, and in essence, they have failed us. If you would like to raise your hand, I would like you to repeat after me. I pledge resistance.
I pledge resistance to the pollution. And they're creating a red line where we just have seen too much of this industrial pollution in our world, and people are very, very pissed off about it. She's one of them. We've got people from China coming in here, putting out chat. Let's see what we got. The numbers are staggering. The worldwide viewership is skyrocketing. I appreciate your concern, folks. I'm only going to answer questions that are relevant. No chance at all. Yeah, so let's take a look and do a little Google translation here and figure out what you're saying. And then we'll find out if this is of any verifiability. Testy lip, Dave. Dave, the top of your head seems awfully pinkish this evening. Not really. It's the bright light. Here, I'll turn the light off. It'll help. Hang on. You haven't commented on my shirt. Mad Dog, I'm looking. Yes, hang on. You're being seen. You don't have to post multiple things. Please don't make it another wig. Yeah. I think the first one you had was better. A lot of men are suffering from male pattern blindness, or baldness, I'm sorry, male pattern baldness. I don't do a comb over. This is my hair. Okay, this is a Wuhan foreign language school promoting themselves. Okay, you're not allowed to promote yourself here. Yes. David, you're a Malika. Hello from Greece. Welcome, Greece. How are you handling the austerity plan? I don't know if Trump's bald, but I'm not. Got an errant hair there floating. Well, let's talk about something that's very disturbing. When Trump was pushing his agenda, and obviously Putin is a big part of his agenda, he failed to tell Putin that we're not in any way going to provoke war with Russia. Well, while that was happening, Trump is so out of it with his transition team and the George W. Bush appointees in his transition team. No, I'm not getting here Omaha steaks. Please don't promote your business here. Thank you. Thank you. Nice haircut, Dave. So we got a couple things. One of you really don't realize that media silence as the House passes a resolution for a Syrian no-fly zone, provoking war with Russia. Now, why wouldn't Trump speak out on this? That's my concern. We're going to go ahead and shut guest chat off if you have continually attacked our show. Yeah, you people are just going to have to take a chill pill here while I read this story. So while Trump is secretly doing side deals with Russian businessmen, he's forgotten that America is moving forward with a war with Russia. You'd think he'd get Putin on the phone, his good friend and business partner. Hillary Clinton's loss was a shock to the purveyors of the U.S. military hegemony, who saw in her an easier path to keep the Syrian conflict going. Yeah, when Assad refused to roll over, regime change became the talking point of Washington. Well, now they're establishing a no-fly zone, next crucial step toward full-scale war. So the House is moving forward with the no-fly zone. You'd think he'd get his party, the Republican Party, in gear and make a phone call to Vladimir Putin saying, Vladimir, I'm not going to support the rebels in Syria anymore. I can't do it Trump, so you have to understand that's my only version I can do. Yeah, no-fly zone is very bad. And this is why I'm concerned about Trump being in bed in business in the White House. Now, if Trump wants to do side deals illegally with Russians for his own business and get away with it and pretend like he's got his business shut off and given to his sons and daughter, then that's wonderful. Except we need to know all of his communications with Russia, and since he's already communicated with Vladimir Putin, we need to find out more about, it was a horrible, I know it was a horrible Trump impersonation. I can't do Trump. I can't do anybody who's sold their soul to Satan. Impeach Trump, public trust, violations of the Logan Act. This is what I'm talking about right now. You're right, that was Bernie. My Bernie has morphed into a Trump impersonation. Look, I do impersonations normally, but I can't impersonate a terribly greedy corporate guy, okay? For lack of a better word. But one thing we do need to find out is why government and why the Justice Department hasn't prosecuted him on a violation of the Logan Act. You're looking at a classic case of a newspaper, the Washington Post, revealing that Moscow had contacts with Trump team during campaign, Russian diplomat says. This is a solid piece of evidence we could put in court right now and have Trump arrested. So if you don't look at that as a possible alternative, violating our negotiating, communicating, any correspondence is illegal under the Logan Act. So already he is pushing the line of acceptability in all different directions. So, Flanker, I don't want his money. Eric and Donald Jr. and Ivanka, they deserve it. I'm not jealous of Trump. You got me wrong. I'm not a jealous person. I'm a person who just doesn't understand why we want a corrupt guy in the White House and why we aren't addressing the real issues which are plaguing America. For instance, vaccinations. Let's make sure that Trump follows his position on vaccinations and says no forced vaccination. Let's stop this corruption in America, everybody.
All gloves are off. Shit is on the table.
And the shit has hit the fan. You can't put another Hitler in the White House. It's not going to happen under my watch.
Okay, welcome to the room where we talk about some pretty heavy stuff. We are not going to be featuring the concern we have right now is that Trump is echoing in the Nazi or New World Order, which really is extremely disturbing considering Hitler was put in power by global elitists like J.P. Morgan, even the Windsor family funded the rise of Hitler. Donald Trump seems to have similar sources of revenue, and that's extremely disturbing. And the way he's flip-flopped on all these issues really makes you wonder what we've got here. What is this person really? I mean, is he exactly who we think he is, or is he working on an ulterior motive? An ulterior motive, yeah. That's a cool gif, yeah. You know who made that? Scissor Fight. He might give you the link to that. I know, Spectra. A bunch of zombies voted for Trump. Welcome, Democrats. Welcome, centrists. Welcome, new independent voters. Bingo's got a Jill Stein Nation Builder recount page set up. Let's take a look. Election integrity. Yep. They've raised $6,725,000 for the recount. There's so many people that don't want Donald Trump to win this election. Their goal is 9.5 million. Jill is going to uncover any electoral fraud whatsoever. She's pushing for a hand count in certain states. Wisconsin is resisting. But if Wisconsin shows that Hillary won fair and square, then Donald Trump may be packing his bags and leaving the White House. Bingo, we don't care about money here. Jill is a shill. She always was a shill. The Green Party, the Libertarians, they're all bought off. They're all completely controlled. They're not original third-party people. They're not in any way separated from the corporate elite. They've already taken tons of money. Both Jill and every single Libertarian candidate in the history of the Libertarian Party as well have taken a lot of money. So I'm not a shill. I'm not buyable. Now, we showed you some shocking photos in the pre-show, and I'm about ready to show you some really shocking photos. You ready for this, folks? For those of you who are still sitting around thinking that, there's nothing to talk about besides Pizzagate, I've got something just as important. Photographs that were taken of inside of chemtrail planes are becoming public, and they've been revealed by the chemtrail pilots themselves. I'm not complaining that you don't give me money, Bingo. I'm saying that I'm able to function without it. I don't solicit donations. Jill, that's all she does. Yeah, the true majority did not vote for this man. Leroy, very angry. Lee Ray, 69, says he's not my president. I'm not a sore loser. I'm just telling you, Cadre, that, you be prepared for Donald Trump to evacuate the White House if Hillary does win in the recount. It's not over yet. Many people have prophesized that Barack Obama will have a third term. Well, the pathway has been set by Jill Stein. Not only did Donald not win the popular vote by 2 million, but he also may very well have had rigging in elections like Wisconsin and Florida. There's evidence that the Florida election was tampered by Russian hackers. I'm against I'm against a no-fly zone in Syria. I'm against sending rebel troops any support from the U.S. What's surprising to me and disturbing is Donald Trump has openly stated that he's going to fight ISIS on the ground in Syria. which is a complete brain fart. He's also said he wanted to do all his business in the White House and run the country at the same time. And now he's backing off of that, which is another example of flip-flopping. Now he's saying he's not going to, which is great. I'm glad that he's saying he's going to give his business to his children, which he should have done years ago. Shows you how greedy he is. But now, you know, when it's obvious that Donald Trump doesn't even understand the law of the land, don't you think the American people are getting a little edgy here? Everything he says, he flips on the next day. So seriously, if you don't see a pattern, I do. Here's an amazing picture of a blimp that's vector shaped and actually has the ability to fly. This is amazing. Look at this. Would you just look at this? We'll look at it. Just look at it. Okay, so while you're talking about a blimp, I'm going to show you the pictures of all the chemicals that they're dumping on your head. All right? This is a site that we were given tonight, which has all the info you're ever going to need on chemtrails. No, Trump was not being sarcastic when he said that he wanted to control his business and the White House. And he was fighting for that until somebody took him aside and said, Donald, I don't want to send you to the Alzheimer's clinic here, but you're not allowed to run your business in the White House. Bingo, he sure has. Donald has said that he will send troops into Iran and into Syria. He's already said that. You don't even research the background of the candidate you vote for? What an idiot. No, I actually heard him say it. In the early part of his campaign, he said he would definitely send troops in to take down Iran and stop ISIS. Same with Syria. I'm serious. Look it, you can believe whatever you want. Bottom line is Donald Trump is basically weak and mushy, and he can't really make any decisions without flipping the next day. Bottom line is he's not really suitable for the job. Like I said, you need to be the originator of the creative ideas that you win with, and not somebody who you steal the ideas from. Big difference. All right, so here's the pictures, and you saw the link, right? WhyDon'tYouTryThis.com has some pretty amazing stuff here. You're looking at inside the planes that are dumping chemicals on your head, and you're wondering, why are you putting the solution to pollution is not dilution? Because it isn't, but they think it is. These elitists are putting canisters of industrial pollution in planes and literally dumping them on your head. Let's go to the top, and I'll just scroll through here slowly. Shocking photos from inside chemtrail planes like you've never seen before. And a person undisclosed talking about this. He risked his life, his job, and showed you exactly what they're doing. Here are the dump points. They're dumping this stuff on your head. Look at the nozzles. He's cleaning the nozzles so they can dump more chemicals. This, you know what this is? This is an absolute act of war against our country, and the elitists are getting away with it. They're engineering a drought in California. They're using canisters of massive, all these planes are specially designed to deliver a massive amount of fumes over your head. You know what's surprising is people don't even care. I'm showing you things that are obvious and you don't even care. That's what's really shocking to me. Yeah. You seem to be living in a world of make-believe or something, maybe fantasy time. It's not a skywriting business, Morgoth. You're one of the toughest to convert. Most of you people are in total denial that there's dumping chemicals in your head. We've shown you pictures, videos, live pictures of chemicals being dumped in your head. It's not skywriting. They really are dumping chemicals on our head. So what I'm hoping to do is get everybody on the same page that when we talk about waste and how there's industrial waste in this world, Drumstick says, I never saw chemtrails as a kid in the 80s, but this is a new phenomenon. It goes on in all NATO countries. I agree with you. I saw chemtrails when I was a kid, though, in the 60s. But whatever. Chemtrails are not good for you. And despite what John O'Brien says, stratospheric aerosol injection will not cool the planet down. Here's the director of the CIA talking about what they're doing to you.
Another example is the array of technologies, often referred to collectively as geoengineering, that potentially could help reverse the warming effects of global climate change. One that has gained my personal attention is stratospheric aerosol injection, or SAI, a method of seeding the stratosphere with particles that can help reflect the sun's heat in much the same way that volcanic eruptions do. An SAI program could limit global temperature increases, reducing some risks associated with higher temperatures and providing the world economy additional time to transition from fossil fuels. This process is also relatively inexpensive. The National Research Council estimates that a fully deployed SAI program would cost about $10 billion yearly. As promising as it may be, moving forward on SAI would also raise a number of challenges for our government and for the international community. On the technical side, greenhouse gas emission reductions would still have to accompany SAI to address other climate change effects, such as ocean acidification, because SAI alone would not remove greenhouse gases from the atmosphere.
No, by dumping strategic aerosol injections will not remove greenhouse gases from the atmosphere. Boy, he said a mouthful there. Contradicting himself. You realize that our country spent millions of dollars in getting rid of Freon from refrigerators because their aerosols can cause the ozone depletion in the atmosphere? Yeah, so now he's saying they're going to dump aerosols into the atmosphere, like Freon, just to somehow cool the planet down, and there's no scientific backing whatsoever behind this junk science. It's creating global warming is what it is. That's what, ironically, no one has any idea how these substances will interact with the oceans and the environment. What goes up must come down. I hate to say it, but James O'Brennan is an absolute sellout. I don't see how anybody could morally say the things that he's said publicly and get away with it. So here are the injector points. These are the things that they dump in the sky. This is the nozzles that they're using. So I'm glad we're finally on the same page. Aerosols are dumping. You're dumping, and they push the aerosols, push silver iodide in Washington to create a sponge so that we have rain all the time here. We got massive rain in my area for the past 6 months. Now, this is a serious subject that needs to be addressed. Chemtrails are industrial waste. But this is even more serious. Unclaimed dead to be buried in a mass grave. Unbelievable. LA County is going to bury 1,430 individuals in a mass grave because they don't know what to do with the bodies. A lot of aluminum in the chemtrails, yes. Codger says, David, do you like Windows 10? I don't use Windows 10. I'm not going to migrate to 10 or 11. I've seen people lose their computers when they were switching. Lee Ray says, you can see the examples of dumbing down of America in this room. Why we will now have the worst president the U.S. has ever had. Truly a sad state of affairs. Lee Ray, that's how a lot of conservatives and independents felt when Obama became president. So now you guys get payback. This is not a toupee. This is my real hair. You can't do this with a toupee. Pull on it. It doesn't work. I got a haircut, yes. Well, not really just a haircut. I've done something rather unusual. Most people don't realize that when you get older, now I'm 56 years old. When you get older, you actually, your body begins to break down. The RNA messenger units that replicate your cells, especially your skin cells, are actually, it's an amazing sight, isn't it? Why did you try that out? Thank you. Well, the older you get, the more your RNA messenger units break down, and the more your genetic structure breaks down. That's why you get wrinkles. Just telling you this is how it is. So I've noticed that when, I cut my own hair, but my hair isn't growing like it used to. No, I'm not balding. I've got no balding going on. I just don't have my hair growing as much. It's because I'm on a massive dose of anti-aging products. We're talking about things that get rid of free radicals in your system, antioxidants. And I'm trying to stay as young as possible. in order to continue this race as we go through years to try to reach out and get some mainstream media attention. So my effort really is to stay young looking. And in the process, I've stopped replicating. My skin cells seem to be slowing down their replication process. I am not using special shampoos. I am only using supplements and things to prevent my body from breaking down, degenerating like human flesh. All right, so let's change the subject because I really don't want to talk about hair tonight. I don't use a Flowbee to cut my hair. I just don't cut my hair that often because there's not a lot of hair growth. I've noticed that my hair stopped growing a lot. It's not falling out, which is good. I consider jojoba a very good conditioner shampoo. Yeah. There's some products that you don't want to get if you're losing hair. One of those products is beep, 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 beep. I know, I'm talking about hair a lot. There's a certain oil that people are using on their hair. Don't use it. Yeah. Jojoba keeps dandruff down. It's a natural anti-dandruff shampoo additive. It's now all natural. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the debunk chemtrail interior blast barrels. No, loyal, no wars, please. You're wasting our time. We already know for a fact that those are chemtrail planes. Yes, avocado, if you eat it, it helps you. I don't know. I've never applied avocado to my hair. Well, here it is, Unclaimed Dead. The holiday season, many of us are reminded of how fortunate we are to be surrounded by loved ones. Sadly, not everyone shares this blessing. The remains of these set to be buried at the LA County Crematorium and Cemetery in Boyle Heights have all gone unclaimed. The county generally holds the cremated remains for about 2 years before burial. Some people are homeless, some are poor, some have no family to grieve for them. Regardless of what their status in life was, each one of them mattered. And now they're going to be dumped into a mass grave. Trump lied about Carrier. He saved 1,000 out of 2,100 jobs. Yeah, well, he saved 1,000 jobs. They're outsourcing another 1,100 of those jobs. I know. Believe me, when Trump said he's going to create 24 million jobs, he was pretty much talking through his you-know-what. Yeah, and giving a company huge tax cuts to keep their company employment here is just a way to, put a little feather in his hat. He is 23,999,000 short of fixing America's job problem, based on what he said he's going to create. No, he wasn't sarcastic when he said any of these things. Everything Trump said, he has reversed on and flip-flopped. And even recently, he's flipped-flopped on things like wanting to control his business. Now he says he's going to put all of his business holdings in his children's hands. I hope they don't do to him what they did to his oldest brother's family. Oh my God, did you hear about that? Trump didn't even pay the health care concerns of his great nephew. Yeah, his older brother died of alcoholism. And his dad decided to cut him out of the will late in life, the older brother. Well, the family sued and said, hello, he was one of the brothers. He didn't get any money. Trump got like $10 million when his father died, and he went through it in 1 year and started looking around for money from his brothers and sister. Yeah. So if you don't know the Trump family history, you should research it. He didn't even want to cover the medical costs of his nephew on his oldest brother's side. The family didn't get anything. It's just, I was shocked when I was reading his story. Yeah, so I doubt he's going to cover your universal health care plan. Bottom line is Trump was running out of money. He was deep in debt, and that's why he had to run for president. The powers that be wanted a greedy guy to control, a puppet. Kissinger wanted a puppet. He made contact with Trump and said,
Mr. Trump, you are very good for the New World Order. You will help create a police state and introduce the chipping and the moneyless society. We are going to make you the president, Mr. Trump.
And now Kissinger hired his assistant. Kissinger's assistant is now going to be working for Trump. Isn't this unreal? A new world order Kissinger assistant is going to be working directly for Trump. It's horrible. You guys got taken to the cleaners. And he made a deal with the devil to become president because he was, frankly, deep in debt. I got the memo about him wanting to meet with an ex-bank CEO to abolish the Federal Reserve. We're going to sit back and wait till that materializes. As soon as it materializes, I know Kissinger would have been working for Hillary. I'm not concerned about Kissinger per se. I'm concerned about the triangle of power the Democrats and Republicans possess and the New World Order and how they're controlling our country. Hillary would have been better than Trump because at least she knows the law. Trump had to be briefed on laws. When he opens his mouth and starts twittering about taking away your citizenship if you burn the flag, what kind of citizenship are you going to have if you get that taken away? I mean, exactly what do you become? Are you saying that I'm like Alex Jones?
Well, now you're going over the deep end. You're assuming that I am Alex Jones and I've had facial reconstructive surgery. Now that's just preposterous. The real problem is the Bilderberg Group.
Breaking news. Trump hires Roger Ailes for female outreach around. Outreach around? Really? The ex-bank CEO wants to abolish the Fed as the libertarian shill John Allison, formerly of BNT. I know banking. Evil banker, thank you. Do you think this effort is just throwing a little teeny bone to the people who really want to end the Fed? See, Trump's all about appeasement. He's all about appeasing the people around him, and he's a Russian apologist, which really is disturbing considering he won't even reach out to Putin and say that we won't support rebel troops in Syria. You can't get those words out of his mouth. Now, if Trump starts saying that publicly, then I know he's watching our show every night because he doesn't have a clue. Donald, are you listening? Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so he's going to put John Allison out there, act like, he's going to do something. I hope John Allison isn't the John Allison that I know. I knew John Allison in college. Yeah, I don't know if this is the same John Allison. I'm going to have to talk to a friend of mine because it could be. Really, the bottom line is we are all screwed. Yeah. I'm an adult, so I know. Rex 3360, good point. Well, yeah, like I said, saving 1,000 carrier jobs is wonderful, but he has 23,999,000 to go. Well, she does know laws because she did work as an attorney, even though she failed the D.C. bar exam. Trump never took the bar. No, I don't have Sarah cover my insurance, thankfully. Yeah, I'm pretty set financially. I don't need to worry. But you people who are obviously concerned about, your finances, many of you are, yes, he is he's a parvenu plutocrat, Mad Dog. That's right, parvenu. A parvenu plutocrat, that's what Trump is. Dan, that's a handsome man. You're sending pictures of yourself, that's a little bit strange. Of course, I have pictures of myself all over the internet, so. I've never invented internet porn. No, that's just not true. I love this time of the night. People are just so tired of trolling that they stop. I can't get links here, guess 220. Donald, you did. You stole all of our ideas. We know for a fact you did. We can prove it. But if you want to make things right, Donald, just call me up on the phone, 707, your ATP, during the show, and I'll take the call privately. You won't have to hear your voice online, and we'll begin the dialogue. If we can somehow get a dialogue going, I'm sure you won't have to worry about 2024. Or 2020, for that matter. If you said that, I need proof. Send it to me, and I'll pass it to my attorney. I have an intellectual property rights attorney waiting for my information to be put together. We do have IP logs of Trump coming into our room in 2012. Yes. From Ustream. We can bring that up. I can subpoena Ustream for the Trump account and find out if it's really him. If his IP matches, it would be him. Second of all, we've got videotape of the Trump dialogue on screen for the show. And we've got all the proof that I came up with these ideas that he's talking about. Ocean Dome, mobile medical units. I had all these ideas in our show back in 2008. You're getting some more life. The trolls keep coming back. Well, I agree. We should roll back regulations like Dodd-Frank. You know what's kind of a bittersweet reality is, even though I don't support Trump, because he took 10 of my ideas, I kind of like the things he's doing right now. So it's like, yeah, censorship is not funny, I know. So I'm kind of in a win-win situation. I continually get censored, but at least I'm watching a person who stole my ideas become president. And I don't have to take the heat for the coming collapse in our economy. So in a way, I kind of feel relieved. No, you got the opposite thing going on there, buddy. You know, until you can call me Mr. Trump, you're going to be muted. I'm censoring you because I don't have any problems with my mental health, and you've been making allegations, indirect allegations of that effect. Yeah, I've been saying it for a long time. It does sound like Trump's been copying me. I have a picture here of a strange story that needs to be discussed. Trump doesn't have the $400 per month per U.S. adults, by the way. And in no way is he going to come up with any plan like this, because he's not about to help the average American. I got the upside of being president without the downside. Yeah, good point. Well, we'll see. Russia will run the U.S. very well, and then they'll be pushing Trump out of position. So Russia really is trying to control the country. I've got an MX lookup tool. Okay, I can look up IPs that way. Thanks. Sir, you are not my president-elect. You're a CEO of a corporation, and I don't think you even know which corporation. You know, I'm getting a little bit verklempt here. I probably should get some more hot coffee. You know, Sarah's pulling a real long night tonight. She has a lot of things to do. She'll be coming back shortly. Let me take you a look at this link. WikiLeaks, Julian Assange's lawyer mysteriously suicided, thrown in front of a train. So there's very little hope right now that anything is with Julian Assange is real at this point, other than the fact that his lawyer mysteriously just suicided. Does not look like a guy who jumped in front of a train. Cooking shows tomorrow, 5 o'clock. I have never admitted to a felony because I've never committed a felony. I think Julian Assange is dead too. This guy definitely is dead. Renowned lawyer John Jones, who represented Julian Assange of WikiLeaks, died after being struck by a train in West Hampstead. Police say they are not treating the death as suspicious. You know how easy it is for somebody to push somebody in front of a train? That's serious. And check this out. This is even weirder. Congress is allowing a rule permitting mass hacking by government to take effect. Government hacking. Siren C's passed away? No, you're just making that up. Tell me more.
A last-ditch effort in the Senate to block or delay rule changes that would expand the U.S. government's hacking powers has failed. This news amidst concerns that the changes could jeopardize the privacy rights of innocent Americans and risk possible abuse by President-elect Donald Trump's incoming administration. Democratic Senator Ron Wyden attempted 3 times to delay the changes, which will take effect on December 1st. The changes will allow U.S. judges to issue search warrants that give the FBI the authority to remotely access computers in any jurisdiction, possibly even overseas. Wyden said the changes will allow the government to have unprecedented authority to hack into Americans' personal phones, computers, and other devices.
Wow. Okay, so goodbye personal freedom, and thank you from US Today. They're trying to tell us all that we're being hacked. So this guy really did die. No one did any kind of investigative journalism at all, and no one asked themselves after what was a millionaire lawyer doing at a train track? Picking mushrooms? There's a severe lack of information that we don't know where exactly this happened. In West Hampstead train station, in the middle of nowhere. No witnesses. Folks, this guy was killed because he knows more about Julian Assange. Let me play you a video that popped up recently of Julian Assange, verifying without a doubt that this is a fake video, that they are faking his image. Watch this. This is interesting. You'll see the glitches in the Matrix.
Mind and in the European mind. He represents American white trash. Deplorable and irredeemable. American white trash. Deplorable 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 trash. Deplorable. From Germany, we published from the Netherlands and a number of other countries, so that the attempted squeeze.
You saw the glitch? The glitch is pretty real, isn't it? They've got software, CGI software, that can make videos of people talking. Assange is probably dead. He hasn't made a credible video since the election. He was used because they had leverage on him. They had those rape charges from Sweden that they kept using against him. And I think they needed WikiLeaks, the government needed it to pretend like they were getting reveals on people so that they can target their enemies. But I don't really know at this point whether Podesta's WikiLeaks emails were really intended to be released. I don't think they even knew. They just passed through the filters because it was just people talking about their cheese pizza. But now that the world is opening its eyes to the possibility that WikiLeaks could very well be the tip of the iceberg, the WikiLeaks story on Podesta could be the tip of the iceberg. What's even more strange is the story has now morphed into fake newsgate. It's no longer Pizzagate. It's now the Podesta brothers are now claiming that fake news is the big problem in America, and they're pushing all their media powerful ties together to stop what appears to be any information about pedophilia in Washington. They don't want anyone to talk about it, which is very, very suspicious. And you're looking at the source of potentially a massive cover-up to keep the eyes of the public, the court of public opinion, from getting to the truth about these pedophiles that are nesting in the highest ranks of government today. They invented the fake news. I know, the Podestas did. Yeah, so I'm just going to get into another venue here. I want to... Sarah's finally come on in, and she had a wonderful night, and she brought a pizza, so I'm going to...
Go have a slice while it's hot.
I'm going to have a slice, yeah, for sure. Sarah's going to come in and give you a little show here. Let me stop the flag so it doesn't slow the server down.
There you go.
Thank you.
Pretty nice. I feel so patriotic.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to turn off guests just for a second, or maybe I'm going to let Sarah hit the button.
Yeah, because the guests like me. I have a rapport with them.
Now, we're hoping that Trump...
I know you do too.
I do too, yeah. But we're hoping that Trump steals my idea, $400 per month per U.S. citizen. I got this. Hang on.
I just wanted to click on my video.
Yeah, I know. I just want to get there. There it is.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now I'm going to turn the light on because earlier
it's fine.
It warms up the room, actually.
Okay, whatever.
Thank you.
All right. No 730. That did not happen. How do you... I like the wig. Gamis.com. Gamis? Yeah, actually I could see that working well on you. That's a good one, Mad Dog. Good evening, Beekman. How are you? No, don't hit me. You want me to show you my shoe? I have an awesome shoe. Well, because I'm here. Cool. You're gonna order it? I think that will. No shoe? Okay. DT Allura told you it looked good? And you had to wait for my opinion? Alright. There's no proof of that. There's no such thing. I didn't start chatting in any rooms until I was 18. I know, you just wanted a second opinion. Alright, 703. Nope, that's not gonna happen, Skullet. Hello, Happy Bean 2016. I hear you're now happily married, is that correct? I can see the rain sometimes. You're ordering pizza now? Good, yum. Seattle draws the red line. What does that mean? Oh, resisting fossil fuels in the Pacific Northwest. Interesting. You just ordered the Swiss colony? I guess it's not just Cyber Monday. It's Cyber Week. Oh, it's like a cake? Oh, nice. It's hams and cheeses and cheese rolls and summer sausages and mixed nuts and yum. Normally $60, now only $55. Google debunked the chemtrail and plane interior ballast bar. Okay. Oh, are you happy about that, Beekman? David's not. Oh, if I missed you again. Hi, Happy Bean. Just a pepperoni pizza. Nothing super special. It's all good though. What's been going on in your life since I've been gone? Since you've been gone, I can breathe for the first time. You've been breathing? That's pretty good. How? You mean by not deporting him to Mexico when the company said that they weren't going to deport them to Mexico anyway? Those jobs? They weren't planning on deporting them to Mexico? Are you talking about those jobs? Yeah, that's what you're... Oh, finally, he's gonna leave his business. What I read about, I heard he saved some jobs from, like, at some company from, not his jobs, but some company from going, from the company going to open a plant in Mexico. It was like Ford or... It was a car company, I can't remember. I believe it was Ford. And the Ford said, we weren't planning on opening another plant in Mexico. Oh, Carrier? I haven't heard about the Carrier one. I will admit that. But Ford said they weren't planning on opening a plant in Mexico at all. I don't have a welfare check. I probably don't know what I'm talking about because most of the time I try to avoid reading the news. No, I read the news. I avoid some news articles, it's true. Well, do I really avoid it? No, I'm here every night. Wow, see, Mad Dog, that's great. Well, I like my jacket. I know, imagine a wig for that price. Pretty cool. So, wildfire in Tennessee killed 7 people. They say it's likely to be human-centered, human-caused. It was engulfed 2 popular tourist towns that were leading into the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Hundreds of buildings were damaged or destroyed. That is very sad for Tennessee. No, I don't have cable or television. No, truthfully, I don't have television other than Netflix or the internet. So if it were streaming on the internet, maybe I would consider it. Here, I'll take off the jacket. Is that what you're saying? I dress old-fashioned? Really? Yeah, that's very sad. You'll have to go north into, like, Maine to see the fall colors or something like that. It wasn't made back then in the 1940s. That would be a pretty cool vintage dress. Wow, you were there on July 4th. I'm sure it won't be the same again.
Okay. Hello.
Oh. Thanks for stopping in, Happy Bean. Have a great night. The federal ethics watchdog isn't the... So the U.S. Office of Government Ethics tweets at Trump. Okay, here, I'll read it for you. Just for you, Matt. Beekman, I'll read about the carrier thing that I missed. Trump to announce carrier plant will keep jobs in the U.S. So Carrier, the big air conditioner company, to move over 2,000 jobs from Indiana to Mexico. So they're going to tomorrow appear at Carrier's Indianapolis factory to announce a deal with the company to keep 1,000 jobs in the state. Wait, they were going to move 2,000 to Mexico, but they're going to keep 1,000 jobs in the state? So they're still going to lose 1,000 jobs. You could read it two different ways. They're keeping 1,000, so does that mean they're going to lose 1,000? I don't know. Were they going to... What were they originally? I'll have to look into this a little bit more.
Thank you. Any good news coming in?
No, I'm just not really.
Okay. I wish Trump would take our idea of $400 a month per U.S. adult citizen. That would be so great. And it eliminates welfare and food stamps for non-U.S. citizens.
Yeah.
You know? That makes total sense. You look lovely.
Thank you.
I love that.
Oh, thank you.
That top on you. It's pretty.
It's all... Well, David plans on revamping welfare to pay for the $400 a month. Thank you, DT Laura. Browns, beige, and pink. Well, you guys said, why did David leave so fast? So the state of Indiana is going to give economic incentives to Carrier to stay in Indiana. And it makes sense because Pence is Trump's vice presidential elect. Does that make you upset that you're that person, Kool-Aid? Are you apologizing, admitting to anything like that? Thanks, chatroom celebrity.
Hello.
How'd you like it? Comic Queen, the New Yorker. I might have to check in on that. I don't know, 277. It was a video, YouTube video. right. Oh, is that what it is? I didn't realize that's who it was, Morgoth. Thank you for explaining it. David often confuses you with that individual. But you're not that individual? It's annoying. Alright. Are you like the local? Aw, thanks, Drag King. I know it because you're not local. Alright, but you're not that person. I didn't know that's who that person was, so now I can call him Caesar. Oh, you just find it funny to use David's words against him. Okay. You think I'm a good cook? I rarely cook. Yes. I think James Anderson is 277. I'm always going to dress like a granny. I have an old soul like that. No. Is James Anderson Caesar or is Billy Bob Caesar? Morgoth is now not Caesar. No, I'm not that way, Juan. All right. And the economy has created an average of 181,000 jobs a month this year. Okay. If he's who Morgoth says he is, then I agree with you, 703. Yeah, Simon says. True. Yeah, I would go back to DT's question. Are you worried? No, because women like to cuddle too. Drag King.
Okay, you better zap that pizza just a tad, just to get it hot. I know you like it warm, so I'm going to let you get back into it, because Sarah just brought home a pizza for herself, and I had a piece.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was good. Wow, I'm back.
Women, I think, do prefer cuddling.
Yeah, and I think it's perfectly fine. I never realized how great cuddling was.
You're finally getting into it.
Yeah, especially on a cold night, you know. There's nothing better than a warm person who you love next to you, and, you know, feeling the body warmth is amazing. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad you like that.
Yeah. Well, you know, I grew up as self-soothing. So, you know, I was left in my room and I had to go to bed at 8 o'clock, 7:30 at night. And my adult siblings were all much older than me.
Well, you wouldn't want to cuddle with them anyway.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want to cuddle with anyone, but I mean, you know, self-soothing kind of takes you to that point where, you know, cuddling, you got to relearn it. Because when you self-soothe as a child, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you have to, for some people, you know, cuddling when they're kids, they cuddle up next to their mom or their dad. And
Oh, 740, that's just because you haven't had the joy.
Yeah, I know. It's so true.
Yeah.
Don't cuddle in a wet spot. No.
Cuddling, snuggling, spooning, it's all good.
No, we're not. I mean, are we under attack from some unknown source?
Not that I know of.
No, I haven't been crying.
Look at him, he's smiling.
I was cutting onions.
He's smiling.
I was cutting some onions. You know, I made a rice dish with some of that turkey broth, and you can have some of that that's in a bowl.
Okay.
And there's turkey in there too.
Nice.
So. Alrighty. Your wig is on its way. You've been talking about wigs. You're going with the best choice you could have made. Yeah, this was. I saw that wig place that you had chosen, and it's a really good deal. Yeah, that's going to look great, man. It looks pretty natural. I might get that wig. You know, I'm thinking of ordering a couple of wigs from this place. It's so cheap. What do they take PayPal? Do I have to use a credit card to purchase that wig? My eyelids? Oh, let me make sure I'm wearing my shades so you don't look at my eyes. How's that? Better? That wig does look real. I was surprised. You know, some of you people who are dealing with male pattern baldness due to the radiation coming from Fukushima, you could definitely, see yourself in a situation where you could wear a wig, right? Yeah. Some of you women are suffering from alopecia. Yeah. Some of you are suffering from the heartbreak of psoriasis. And some of you are suffering from just general feeling down. You want to look better. You might want to consider getting some press-on veneers and some sunglasses. That way you could be 112 years old and no one would even know. I'll look this way till I'm 112. Thank you. I inspired you. No homo. I got you. Propecia. It's not alopecia. What was alopecia? Propecia. Isn't that product that people wear for their hair? All right, so we cleared the chat. We got nothing but open discussion here to talk about new things. So we talked about Hunter S. Thompson. We haven't talked about this. This is Wasteful Wednesday, and marijuana legalization is high on the list. One of the reasons why people flock to America's Third Party is because we support legalization. I'm suffering from nothing. I've got no suffering. I feel great. I know, Beekman. Yeah, what a dreadful period that's going to be for a lot of people when the Republicans wake up and realize that the election is going to go to Hillary in the recount. Oh, you Republicans are going to be so butt sore, it's unbelievable. And then they'll find out that then all of a sudden Hillary will have charges pressed against her for what, a Pizzagate or something by that time, and all hell will break loose in 50 days. Yeah. I purge all messages, mofo. Yeah. Come up with something better. What is Appalachia? It's a place in there's about 7 states that cover the Appalachian area. Alopecia. And DT Laura's looking at getting a wig too. There's a lady's wig. Wow, that's exciting. See, we just talk about superficial stuff like hair and how Trump is going to sell our nation to Russia for a quick buck for his family. Yeah, I think Trump just said, hey, if they want me to sign some paperwork, I'll sign some paperwork. I could still make a few phone calls to my son, Eric, You notice how my Trump impersonation is starting to morph into like a mob boss? The Donald. Alopecia is a skin disease. You're right. Propecia is the correct answer. You are correct, sir. You corrected me, and you are the winner of Can We Find Out the Error in Dave's Statement contest. Well, let's not just impeach the pedophile Democrats. Let's go after the chicken hawk Republicans, too. Let's talk about impeaching both the pedophile Democrats and the chicken hawk Republicans. And, alopecia is hair loss. Okay, thank you. There you have it. So alopecia is the correct answer. Then it is not propecia. Your wife gets $2,000 a month because he has fibromyalgia, which is probably heart disease. I don't know. You got to wonder. Fibromyalgia is one of those catch-all symptomologies. Right, exactly like I thought. So I was correct. Alopecia is hair loss in women and men, and propecia is the treatment for male pattern hair loss on the vertex and the anterior mid-scalp area. You sound like an expert in the field. Yeah. Well, there you go again. Well, Morgoth, the thing is, you don't understand the new definition of Zionism. By my definition, Hitler was a Zionist. Morgoth has this ongoing discussion about what Zionism is. In my definition, Hitler was a Zionist, and there's no way that... Have you seen Hog Slammer lately? I haven't seen him in the room lately. Is he okay? I've not seen that. He usually broadcasts on Battle Cam. Well, if you're getting to the point where you want to deal with your hair loss without having to go, oh God, I'm going to wear a hat on my head, that's the one quick fix for a lot of guys. In my area, you look around and almost every guy out there has a hat on their head. It's amazing. And it's always like a baseball cap. But the fact is, radiation levels have increased 233% since Fukushima occurred 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know. And your net loss of hair will be directly correlated with the amount of radiation that's bubbling into the ground in Japan, despite their efforts to freeze it. So see how all of this goes back to waste? And then the level of strontium in your hair and barium and aluminum, I mean, the numbers are just skyrocketing. One guy did a study on one of his follicles, and he found like dangerous levels of strontium from the chemtrails. There you have it. Yeah. Yeah, Zion is an anagram for the Nazi symbol. You're right. See, and Hitler was a Zionist first and foremost, so when they killed all those Jewish people and ethnic minorities, they laid the groundwork for the creation of the State of Israel. You know, when I play this tape back and look at the record of all the things I've said in our show, they do seem kind of tangential, I must say. But most people don't realize that live television virtual shows like this oftentimes switch subjects rapidly. It's not that I'm trying to switch subjects. We could just talk about one thing and one thing only. You can focus on whatever. We could talk about Pizzagate in that we're the only place now that can talk about it without being banned on the internet. But unfortunately, if I play any videos, they will censor me tonight. They've already planned on that. So I don't know. I'm going to try the videos tonight and see if it's a glitch in their system or if they really are trying to send a message saying, you are not allowed to talk about the secret underground hidden pedophiles in the government. And I know this is a bizarre subject, but 50,000 kids missing every year for the past, 15 years, and nobody raises any questions. I think we should talk about Pizzagate. Yeah, it's time. I don't know if Mark is doing it for a fee or something. I'm not really sure. I wish I had been standing up doing this the whole time. I would have no extra weight on my body whatsoever if I had this type of stamina. This gentleman here is an amazing performer, and aside from it, his nonstop dancing performance, it does seem like he has. I don't know. I think he's accomplished what is called anti-gravity. You notice the main part of his body doesn't move, so he's virtually hovering on top of the earth. So if you want, we could take this. Exactly. The call from Mark, he said he didn't censor me, but he also lied and said he wrote my name in on the election. I thought that was funny. I detected insincerity and deception. If I were hooked up to a lie detector machine with him, he would definitely be a liar. Without a doubt. Now let's get into our legalization section of our show. Obviously, that's the next best thing on my mind. The best thing that happened in the election is legalization of marijuana here in America. If you're watching this overseas, you're seeing trends being changed and made here in the country. And I think Trump will probably fall in line and eventually legalize it, I hope. But if we don't move toward legalization now and do it in a big way, our economy will suffer. We really need to make a big shift toward a solution that will actually solve cancer. Here's an example of what a cannabinoid does with a cancer cell. It surrounds it and starves it off and shuts it down. And this is the power of medicinal use of marijuana and THC and cannabinoids. So, yeah, and it's the cannabinoids that are truly proving to be very effective at stopping syndromes of childhood seizure. I've got an absolute video description of how a person smoking a doobie or a bong, they call them bongs, water pipes, I believe. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. Here is a guy doing a social experiment with a few other people. He's an epileptic, kind of like Chief Justice Roberts, you know, the guy who's in charge of all the laws in America. He's severe epileptic. I urge you, Chief Justice Roberts, to smoke a doobie in the White House or wherever. But check this guy out. In 7 minutes, his symptoms of seizure go away. Watch.
You're all right, buddy.
Dave Douglas having a seizure. His first toke. Notice the palsy. Notice his shaking. Now, give him another one, give him another one.
There you go. Dave. Inhale, bud.
Dave Douglas having
both
a seizure.
Both hands are stopped shaking.
Okay, let's go to 3 minutes in.
He is holding the joint. It's been less than
He's not shaking anymore.
5 minutes, and he's back. He's back. He's not shaking anymore.
Well, he hasn't even finished the whole joint, for Christ's sake.
He hasn't even finished the whole
Do you want a glass of water?
Yeah,
Something with sugar in it?
No, just a little.
Okay. Are you going to be all right? You're not going to fall over? Perfect. Lean back.
5 minutes.
I'm getting tired. Really tired, but
5 minutes in.
You had a workout.
yeah. And a bit
And now it's time. Thank you, Dave, for your participation in a really amazing video.
Yeah.
Really?
I only had another seizure.
Well, see, we were just talking about it about 5 minutes before it went on, that, you know, we should video the seizure. And
What, just 5 minutes ago?
I don't remember what happened. I was sitting here, I guess we were all sitting here, and I had a seizure.
Dave Douglas having a seizure cured it completely from happening into a petit mal seizure or grand mal seizure with the power of marijuana. Isn't this amazing? Well, yeah, he's blazed, but at least he's not, you know, biting his tongue, swallowing his tongue, which is a serious situation where a person has a seizure. That's your worst case scenario. When they swallow their tongue, they choke to death and they die. But the problem of it's just so amazing. I mean, I've seen they're using a cannabinoid mist on kids who are epileptics, that they go right into their nose with a cannabinoid mist, and there's no active THC. The kids aren't even getting high. It's the cannabinoids that are actually doing the amazing work with the neurons in their head. Rectal exam, he said weed saved you from a life of prostitution. So if you didn't have marijuana, you'd be out whoring yourself? That's amazing. And CBDs are working wonders. Yeah, skin problems go away. And some rare forms of seizures require active THC. Azera, you know more about it. And cannabis is much safer than opiates, not physically addicting. So why has marijuana been illegal all these years, and why did Richard Nixon, why did he put it, or his signature on the Controlled Substances Act in 1971? Why did he do that? And the only answer really is it's a continuation of the hatred toward the Mexicans, you know, trying to stop illegal immigration. They thought that was one way to do it, by making it illegal to access marijuana. A lot of marijuana that came into this country over the years came from Mexico. Not so much anymore with the new legalization plans going across in the state. So we're kind of putting a bite in the marijuana drug trafficking trade out of Mexico. Another static situation, we got silver at 1630 and gold at 1166. 1630 and 1166.30 gold. And the Dow Jones is still hovering at... And Doobster here, he's saying he's a self-medicator. There you go, Doobster. Play brain damage? No. Trying to find the... I think I need a bigger... Okay, and a drone gun, a device for taking control of rogue drones. Interesting. This is a technology we could feature tomorrow night on Technology Thursday. The Drone Shield drone gun. Drone Shield. Very interesting. Okay. A story that came out yesterday about Hunter S. Thompson's relative has just announced that they're going to produce a line of marijuana in his name. Hunter S. Thompson's strain of weed to be made available. Anita Thompson has steadily been hard at work to honor the literary legend and counterculture icon. So her 42-acre Woody Creek compound she inherited from her relative, Old Owl Farm. Now, was Anita Thompson the wife of Hunter S.? Let's take a look. Yeah, it is his wife. Thompson's wife forgave his suicide. I still think that Hunter S. Thompson may have been killed. He said one day before he died to a friend that they were going to kill him for what he was saying and doing. Some people said that, well, let's not get into that right now, but there's a lot of words about Hunter S. Thompson. But the Owl Farm was the center for the gathering in Colorado for legalization past few years. She's opened it up to that. Now she's going to open up her own strain, and she does own the Gonzo brand of cannabis. And it'll be sold in recreational marijuana dispensaries. So it'll be called the Gonzo brand when it arrives. This is amazing. So see how entrepreneurship is growing. The state of Washington's already moved $1 billion in product, and which is very hopeful for Colorado and Oregon, Washington, soon to be Maine, Massachusetts, I believe Nevada, and all the other states that allow legal. Now I've got a very interesting little tidbit from New York. One of the shipments of gold flakes was taken by a guy who boldly walked up to a Loomis truck and grabbed all the gold, and you're going to see it right now in real time. Look at this. He walks right up there, grabs the gold from the back of the Loomis truck, and walks away with it. And here's another angle of him walking up the truck. Everyone's looking around. He grabs it, and he runs down the street with it. Nobody bothers to check, and then he stands by another truck waiting to like pick it up or something. $1.6 million in gold. This just happened. I'll get you the link to it in the chat room. I don't know. I guess you melt it down. You melt gold flake down. Hey, there you go. Robber for the win, really? He'll be rich the rest of his life. Somebody said he might have been an illegal alien. And he'll be set for life in America. Hey, here is that really tell-all picture that is really kind of shaken up the internet recently. More information about Michelle Obama being, of course, a transgender, and the 2 children being adopted. This story is getting better. A detailed amount of work has been done, and they found the real parents of Michelle's alleged children, Sasha and Malia. And don't they look like their parents? Isn't that amazing? It's just phenomenal. So all the truth about Barack Obama and his transgender lover, Michael, will be made true and clear as soon as I'm president. In the meantime, you'll have to listen to Donald Trump ignore the simple fact that he should be prosecuting Barack Obama on fraud charges. All of you Trump supporters have to sit there and realize that Donald Trump doesn't want to legalize marijuana, and he wants to stand in the way of the correct growth of new enterprise in America. So in a way, by putting Jeff Sessions in there, who is the Attorney General select, unless he gets approved, by putting him in there, who openly stated, Jeff Sessions openly stated that good people don't smoke marijuana. Good people don't smoke marijuana, meaning people that smoke marijuana are bad people. Because Donald Trump is unable to change and adapt to the changing times around us, we still have the dump strump Trump situation here, the stump. He didn't say 1,400, you idiot. He saved 1,000 of the carrier chain, not 1,400. He lied. And plus, that's 1,000 jobs toward 23,999,000 he claims he's going to create. So you Trumpsters better get on board the road. Basically, if you guys do indeed have the presidency, which I think could be the case, you better get started making jobs now, or you're going to be called liars all across the country. So the onus upon you to get this country going is right now. The spotlight's on you Trump-tards. So you better get your act together real fast, because you're not doing diddly squat. 1,000 jobs is a joke. So don't tell me he's even on the way to anything. He's on the road to being an absolute idiot, a flip-flopping jerk, barely making it through the transition crisis, having to borrow people from George W. Bush's cabinet. I mean, come on. So unless you realize the true direction of this country, and realize that Trump has been using me for a source of information for the past 3 years now. I've been doing this for 8 years. But for 3 years, he's been stealing my ideas. Until you realize this guy better start realizing what he needs to do for the country and get Jeff Sessions out of the AG position, then this guy is just a joke. He's not going to prosecute Obama. He's barely going to prosecute Clinton. I seriously doubt that he's ever going to do anything with Clinton. And I seriously doubt he's going to investigate Pizzagate. In fact, have any of you even asked Trump about Pizzagate? Any of you Trump-tards? Seriously. All right, here we go. I guess I have to do it. You are watching me have to stifle your free speech. Yes, 2202 says get rid of Jed Sessions, yeah. Who cares what his name is? Passion, that's what I'm talking about. Well, I think the reason Dave is so angry is he's not getting the chance to flip-flop on national TV. He's relegated to flip-flopping on Vaughn. It's an outrage. Morgoth, that's not even funny. I don't flip-flop here. Yeah, Doobster says 1,000 jobs is a joke, especially when there's 70 million people in our country, if not more. Oh yeah, 93 million people are unemployed. Most of them don't want to work, though. That's a fact. I mean, I hate to tell you. I love the fact that you guys who love work and love working hard are really all about work. But when it's all said and done, I mean, you get one life to lead, and then they pull your zip cord, and all of it's been spent working. So I would say, if you call what I do at night, doing in the show work, then yeah, I've been working every night diligently for 8 years. But I do work around the house. I do chores. I mean, we're always doing things. But do I draw a salary from those activities? No. There's a hidden economy out there. And a hidden economy that so many people are getting involved with, like making YouTube videos of secret pizza party for the kids. Somebody's uncovered a really weird, perverted video on the internet from some guy. Let me show you this. This is weird. I don't know if he's drawing an income on AdSense or something, but With the Pizzagate story being as big as it is, this guy's making videos about this.
Hi, I'm Paul. I'm going to be reading Secret Pizza Party by Daniel Salmiari and Adam Rubin. Poor raccoon. All he wants in life is some pizza.
Why am I looking at ass? Clearly, it says ass right there. Look at this. When he opens up the picture, it says ass on it.
Give me some pizza. If only he knew how to ask politely.
Oh my God, this is insane. I can't even bear it. This guy is like luring people into his YouTube site or something. That's so twisted. He takes solo vacations to Cambodia, Garlic Jr. says. Yeah, he's a regular, I'm sure, in the Bangkok division of child safety. Oh, man. So if this guy were to burn a flag, would you take away his citizenship? And what would you do? What would you give him? What kind of a citizenship would you give him? Yeah. Let's barbecue. I like barbecues. I love barbecues. In fact, some of my best times of my life were clam bakes out in the east coast of New York, Massachusetts. You guys know how to party, man. Lobster. Trump has not taken your ideas. What? No, actually, Tres Majestus, you've been banned because you simply haven't gone into our videos and checked out my library. Let me give you a picture of Dave, 2008. Well, that's Dave Chappelle, yeah. That's weird. You know, my own name doesn't even come up in my own search. Okay. Here it is. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. No, not it. Okay, I'll find it later. It's eluding me. For some weird reason. Somebody posted one of my videos aside from our channel. And I have a copy of it, but I'll get it later. It was just me talking about all the policy issues, like the 1,000-mile fence, mobile medical units, things like that. Dave Bright says, great show so far, Dave. Wow. Really? I didn't think it was that great. Sorry. But yeah, let's get into the thing you've all come to the show really to talk about. Now, if there is censorship tonight, we will see lags in our signal, and it'll block the whole show out. So if we talk about this in detail, it's going to be they will shut our show down. You know, they may even stop us and lock us off the internet, take us off the ICANN network, which is now owned out of Singapore. Yeah, the government no longer has any control over the domains on the internet. Smart move, don't you think? Giving up control of all the domains on the internet. That was your government working for you, your two-party system. I am unable to check IAMs, nut job Bob. Sorry to say. I'd have to open up a link to do that. Okay, so we've talked about the... I'll copy that to the Obama library. I have a little business of just doing stuff behind the scenes that I don't get paid for that. Cropping Michelle kid links. Michael. Well, make no mistake about it. So we'll be done with the Obama thing for in a short period of time. Obama can go back to his new life with his wife. His future will be answering to the people that have WikiLeaks messages about he and Michelle referring to Pizzagate. He'll be attending countless inquisitions because I will prosecute Barack Obama. Here he is snorting something. We're not sure what. I will prosecute him. And you know something? Trump doesn't have the balls to prosecute him because he's in the bed with the people that got Barack Obama elected. Henry Kissinger. And I don't think Donald Trump will even comment on Pizzagate. Has anybody seen a tweet on Pizzagate yet from him? And his relationship to Jeffrey Epstein? Dave needs to draw attention to Censorgate. No, they're like... the U.S. may have to go to .us internet addresses, Beekman. Yeah. Prepare for DDoS, like what happened last night when Pizzagate stuff came on. Garlic Jr. Are you working for the government, Garlic Jr.? Are you a government employee? I mean, you can just come out and say it. We've got a lot of people from Allied Signal Corps who come in and talk about it. Yeah, some of them actually say, yeah, we're working for the government, Dave. We're in here, you know. You can go ahead and say it. Your boss is not watching, don't worry. Are you working for the government, Mr. Garlic? Yeah, it sounds like a Pizzagate turn, doesn't it? And it's a new name, too, Garlic Jr. We think you are. We think you are, and we think you are behind it. Dave, no, I don't work for the government. Just warning people about what happened last night. Okay, well, I don't know if it was a DDoS that shut us down. It looked like a Vaughn failure on his end. It looked like he was just turning our show off during that time period. Oh, no. Thank you. Oh, God. Okay, guest on. I needed a little break there just to deal with it. Okay, so far no new evidence has popped up in the Pizzagate case except for about 40,000 YouTube videos that'll be playing from our YouTube server tonight to test if it's true. Well, if it's true, Garlic Jr. will find out because I'm going to try to run those same videos through again tonight. Pizzagate is the New World Order, supposedly. The secret societies of pedophiles that have gathered in Washington, it's got even darker than Eyes Wide Shut. We've got a 9-minute video coming up tonight at 9:30. So we got a long wait to go, but we got a 9-minute video about this. Here it is. From Sergeant...
Hey guys, Sean here from SGT Report. I'm not even sure how to introduce this video. It's clear now if this message allegedly posted on Comet Ping Pong's message board is legitimate and accurate. This is the most disturbing thing you'll ever see, and it proves that Pizzagate has now reached eyes wide shut levels of Satanism. I'm going to play this report. This was posted by Joe Biggs on his Twitter account today. Viewer discretion is advised.
So that'll be coming up tonight on our show. The deep rabbit hole that it goes all the way to the top of the people that run the world, folks. And if you're listening to this show, you know that you're in another country or you're concerned about what's happening in the U.S. Oh, I'm sure a lot of things David Icke has been saying are probably true, but the fact of the matter is, he's also a person like Alex Jones who spits truth mixed with falsehood.
This is the perfect family.
And then we have a story from TK Truth about Sasha and Malia and their real parents. So he's running with the story too. Good. So I guess these are all the fake news sites that people say you can't watch because they're telling the truth. The fake news story, by the way, came out of the Podesta media group, running attacks on all kinds of sites like Drudge Report and Zero Hedge, and the sites that we've been bringing you links to for the past few years. So they want to discredit anybody on the internet that talks about things that are too sensitive for the elitists to discuss. You see how this is working? So. Wow. I feel better today, though. I got a little sleep last night. And we have the best Bubbles impersonation ever of Trailer Park Boys fame. Bubbles is a guy who's made international fame from his impersonation of his, picture of a guy with big glasses. Here's a young man who did an incredible job. He's only got 55 followers, but 54,000 views. Watch this.
When Ricky was the Sunnyvale trailer park supervisor and I was fucking assistant trailer park supervisor, I knew things were fucked, but things got out of hand way too fucking quick. Fucking ER checks came in the mail. Fucking Trevor, Corey Trevor, Randy Trevor. Which reminds me of the other fucking time when Ricky was working with Gary, the fucking mall cop down at the mall. Fucking cart duty, and Ricky just waltzes in there like he's king of the fucking carts. What am I supposed to do? Go down to EI? Hi there. I still shopping carts for a living. I've been doing it for 18 years, so give me a fucking check, please. I haven't even ever paid into EI, UI, whatever the fuck they call themselves these days.
I'd play the whole clip for you, but it's, whatever. Pretty funny stuff. Impressing. A lot of people. Okay, new alternatives to media are popping up left and right as the internet morphs to deal with the censorship from the CEO of Twitter and the CEO of Reddit trying to knock out the word Pizzagate. The new alternatives are popping up everywhere. And these new alternatives you can check out yourself. Goodgopher.com is one of them. And there's Gab.ai, developed by free speech advocate Andrew Torba. It's a Twitter-style network that combats censorship by allowing users to post whatever they want, saying what they want and expressing themselves as they want. That's a good one. I'm probably going to join that one. Scene.life, another one. There's a bunch of others too. So, as the censorship continues, the media is morphing into whatever it can be with the benefit of the internet. It's pretty cool that we have this. Okay, and cannabinoid oil relieves Parkinson's symptoms in minutes. Let's take a look at another example of marijuana benefits.
Hi Larry, how are you? Come in. Let's see. How you feeling? It's been a bit of a rough week, really.
Parkinson's.
And the best way to take it is put it under your tongue and rub it in your cheek.
He's taking medicinal CBD.
Don't do too much, you're going to be asleep all afternoon. You know what you should do? No. Don't try to communicate, just relax. See what happens.
We know from animal experiments that the endogenous cannabinoid system is very important in regulating motor activity, that very type of activity that is impaired in Parkinson's disease. From animal experiments, we also know that boosting certain branches of the endocannabinoid system is helpful in relieving symptoms of Parkinson's. Finally, from anecdotal information, we know that certain patients who smoke marijuana experience relief of their symptoms.
I think you're calmed down. So quickly. Isn't that amazing?
He used just a single drop, and his hands afterwards were rock steady, and the dyskinesia left.
It was so bad. It works most of the time. In fact, it's...
Oh my goodness.
Did you guys eat lunch? Are you hungry now?
20 a.m. Actually,
A person like me could really use marijuana. It makes me pretty angry that I can't get at my home state.
The number one frustration that I have is knowing that there is this untapped potential comes from what marijuana is teaching us to generate new medicines and being stuck because of financial issues or political issues. That is extremely frustrating.
We now know that medical marijuana controls dyskinesia, and yet it's not available to us.
Well, we got to change that. I mean, this is serious. Again, we see immediate results. I mean, this is the fact that we've had all these years with these diseases, seizures, petit mal, grand mal seizures, Parkinson's disease, epilepsy, and not one thing from the government to reveal what's happening. I mean, this is tragic, really, that our government is lying to us and keeping valuable information from getting to the forefront. I got to copy that video for sure. I'm downloading it. Hopefully I can. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's going to definitely be in our repertoire of good evening. Weed is a plant. Yeah. Why shouldn't it be legal? Yeah. I don't think the marijuana problem is severe, and it's not a drug problem. I think it's an herb growth industry that is not necessarily a gateway drug. I know people that smoke marijuana have never even tried cocaine or LSD or angel dust or whatever the ecstasy that kids are using. Chronic candy. Oh, CBD candy. Quality trees, yeah. Well, being I'm in Washington, it's fitting that I talk about this on our show. But I can't really spend a lot of time just focusing on legalization. Now, you raised an interesting question. Do you think Trump would have had ever more than he did if he just talked drugs? I think if Trump had talked about his snorting problem, he would not have won at all. No. If he had made a comment that, he said he had a cold, but that was only after I mentioned the snorting issue numerous times. So I don't think crack cocaine should be legal, no. And Alaska surely doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm making ground. She's not. Trump, the flipper.
Smarter than he, and we know Flipper lives in a world full of wonder, lying there under the sea.
Isn't that cute? It's Flipper, yeah. So we know that Mr. Snorter converted, his whole thing to a cold. He said he had.
Wait.
Hey, hi, Sarah came in the room. We just showed a guy with Parkinson's, Sarah, who had a little bit of a drop of cannabinoid oil on his tongue, and his Parkinson's disappeared.
Wow.
And we have this video right here. Welcome to the neighborhood, everyone. Sarah's here. The sound is up. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So it just was phenomenal what happened. His physical appearance went from this condition.
Motor activity,
and then you can see
the very type of activity that is...
Let's see, when he first took it in, see this? He was all tied up with Parkinson's.
Don't do too much, you're going to be asleep all afternoon. You know what you should do?
And 137, 140, 3 minutes into this.
So quickly.
Look at him.
Isn't that amazing?
5 minutes into it.
He used just a single drop, and his hands afterwards were rock steady, and the dyskinesia left.
It was coming back. It works most of the time. In fact,
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And he can speak normally now. And they've been suppressing this great healing. Morgoth, this is your last warning.
Michael J. Fox does need something like that.
Michael J. Fox definitely should be token on a doobie. Doesn't he live in Massachusetts, or was it Connecticut? All he has to do is go to Massachusetts. He could start smoking it legally. Yeah, cool. No, the video is not fake. Do you say that about every video out there? Sarah is never going to get high, but I just like to show her the benefits of the oils. This guy doesn't, need to get high. Just put a little bit of oil on his tongue. If you understood what we're talking about, no, there's a preponderance of evidence, not anecdotal evidence at all. Morgoth, we're going to take you out of the show if you keep it up. You know that. So he lives by Martha's Vineyard. Well, he can just take Beehive up to Maine and get some. Well, he can't cross over state lines. He'll have to stay in a lovely place in Bar Harbor.
Move up there.
He'll move up to Bar Harbor. Michael J. Fox, move to Bar Harbor with your wife. Yeah, get a place out there.
Or Seattle, Washington.
Or Seattle.
Or.
We have a guest room. We can have you stay here, I guess. Michael J. Fox is not listening. All right. Well, this has been, just a kind of a wake-up call for a lot of people tonight. How old do you think this guy is, Sarah? Don't tell anybody. I'm just going to ask her. How old do you think this guy is in this picture?
85.
85? He's 12. 12 years old. He has an advanced aging disease. No, I'm just kidding. He was 90 years old in this picture.
Pretty close.
And guess who he is? He's the creator of McDonald's Big Mac, and he just died. Yes, he just passed away. This was taken 8 years ago. This picture was taken, but he was 90 years old there. He just died. His name was Michael James Jim Delegati, the guy who created, and he ate one Big Mac a week, even up until his last year. So eating Big Macs can be, as long as you're, moderation, could be very beneficial.
It does have lettuce on it.
Yeah, it's got something going for it. They say cheeseburgers are actually okay for you. That's what I've heard, that they actually are anti-carcinogenic. Cheeseburgers. There was a big story, it was an amazing story that happened 15 years ago. I just don't have it on my tip of my fingers. They said that cheeseburgers were prevented cancer. I should Google that. I'll do that later. And a reveal that came in earlier in the pre-show, John Podesta has literally dinners where he cooks for people in the media. I don't know if this is spirit cooking that he's doing or not, but here's a list of all the big names in the media: ABC, AP, MSNBC, NBC, Politico, all the top names. All are real close friends of his. And this is a story of how the media is completely controlled and how Podesta was used as their kingpin. I'll give you the link. There you go. I'll be back shortly, guys.
Like Reiki-isms? Is that like
it's the trailer park lingo. I just don't fall into it. God. I just played a guy impersonating Bubbles on Trailer Park.
Oh God.
Just to give him a...
You're gonna stuff your face with what specifically 901? You're going to a buffet or something? Well, give David a little break, and then I'll be here, and then I'll go to bed, and that'll be good. I'm really working on it. 505. Top 5 facts about Black Friday most Americans never knew, or something. Communicamos.com. I don't think I want to go that. Well, you can dream about it. I don't think I can do that. I didn't vote. I asked someone what made them smile today. And I saw a cute little decorated car that made me smile. It was decorated like Rudolph. They put that like some kind of puff thing on their on the hood of their car and the little antlers. That was cute. That made me smile. Do my eyes need clothespins to go like this? Up, maybe. All right. Yeah. And someone gave me a hug today and said, "I like you." That made me smile too. So. Oh, I'm sorry. Now you know how David feels. When you're here, David feels the same way, like that, drained and all that. I feel good because I just feel like happy that you're here. I like interacting with you, with people in the chat, and it's just really kind of fun. Well, I think they're fine. That's not going to happen, 307. I don't want to watch someone who's disrespectful and hateful. Can you find something that's good? Whatever happened to that site? Wasn't there a site called, like, Good News? Yeah, let me look at it. Let me look it up. Good News Network. Good news, inspiring positive stories. Let's look at that. What do they have to say? The public raised $100,000 for a widower who's selling kindling to pay his wife's medical bills. Wow. Watch Wes Anderson's adorable new Christmas short with train conductor Adrian Brody. Stranger and a grandma plan to stay friends after accidental Thanksgiving invitation. I'm not on anything like that. All right, baby ejected from a car was found in a distant storm drain with only a scratch. After dad's death, granddaughters saved the family farm in Minnesota. That's nice. A Muslim group hands out 1,000 holiday turkey meals to needy families. I'm just looking at the Good News Network. And the quote of the day: economics and money is not about things and tangible material objects. It is about men, their meanings, and their actions, by Ludwig von Mises, economist, philosopher, libertarian. I hope you don't too. Yeah. What do you mean he had to have a permit to hand out free hugs? That's weird. Oh, this is cute. I've got to give this... Is Meow TV 2 in the room? This is goodnewsnetwork.org that I'm citing from. A record number of cats were adopted on Black Friday. Isn't that a cute story? While some New York crowds were stampeding Walmart and Best Buy for Black Friday, these dedicated animal lovers were waiting in line to adopt. It was their 6th annual Cat Friday event. They were no cat adoption fees. Oh, that's cool. 90 different cats and kittens were adopted. 29 more than last year. New record. New Yorkers want a cat where they don't have to pay fees. An additional 44 animals who weren't ready for adoption due to age, illness, or vaccination were also put on hold, giving them a home when they're happy and healthy. Altogether, the grand total of adoptions came to over 130. Wow, that's cute. Oh, and Meow TV 2 is not here. I don't think it's weird to hand out free hugs. If you want to hand out free hugs, I don't think it's weird. I don't know why someone would require some kind of permit to do that. I don't want to talk about it more, Goth. Oops, top 10 accidental inventions and innovations. Ooh, I like this. Thank you. Oh, there were 35 inventions that changed the world. Nice, nice. All right. Cornflakes. Millions of people pop open a box of cornflakes each morning, but that one almost never happened. W.K. Kellogg and his brother John Harvey Kellogg developed their first edible cornflake product accidentally. They were conducting research about a patient's diet. They were doctors. Wow. And they accidentally flaked wheat berry. And so then they kept experimenting until they did flake corn and created the appetizing recipe for cornflakes. At first, they were just eaten like granola, no sugar, no milk. And then they noticed the potential of combining the cereal with milk. And then they mass marketed it in the 1900s to help consumers distinguish it from 42 other companies. He signed on each package saying they were the original. That is pretty cool. Toasted cornflakes, signed by Mr. Kellogg himself. Super glue. Oh, that's kind of cool, Doopster. Super glue repaired any and all broken items around the house. Let's see. The creator didn't realize its potential when he discovered it. He thought it's too sticky. Wow. He was working for Tennessee Eastman Company when an accident resulted in the creation of cyanoacrylate. He was experimenting with acrylates. He was attempting to make scrupulous gun sights to be used during World War II. Wow. The microwave oven, an accidental discovery. So an inventor, Percy Spencer, was an engineer at Raytheon. 1945, he noticed that a candy bar in his pocket started to melt while he was working with magnetrons. He patented the invention along with his employer, Raytheon. It was called the Radarange. And launched it for commercial use only 2 years after 2 years, so in 1947. Wow, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, maybe that is how they did mix the cornflakes with the milk. They just accidentally dropped some in there. I'm 10 years behind in life. Now I'm reading that these are accidental discoveries. The pacemaker, a wrong transistor helped in the invention of the pacemaker. So when working on building a heart rhythm recording device, the guy completed the circuit with the wrong size resistor. The new circuit emitted intermittent electrical pulses. Wow. And then they controlled a dog's heartbeat. Great Batch patented more than 325 inventions, including a long-life lithium battery. This guy named Wilson Great Batch. He patented a great batch of technology. Penicillin was accidental. He was trying to study Staphylococcus, and he noticed a mold called Penicillium notaritern had contaminated his petri dishes and killed the bacteria. All right, what are you going to teach me? Dynamite, accidental discovery. The X-ray was an accidental discovery. Teflon. Bakelite. The popsicle. 35 inventions that changed the world. I'm reading about inventions. That's what I'm reading about. The wheel, of course. Now that's a really old invention. The compass. Another ancient invention. The automobile, the steam engine, concrete. So important, concrete, as an invention, that's true. Petrol, gasoline, railways, airplanes, fire. Fire? Although fire is a natural phenomenon, its discovery marked a revolution in the pages of history. Especially when we could learn to control fire. That's very good. The nail. Yeah, think of the common nail. How that's used all the time. Bronze nails were found in Egypt. Tools. Light bulb. Light bulb did change. Electricity. The battery, printing press, Morse code and telegraph, steel. Oh yeah, steel is awesome. Transistors. Transistors have become the fundamental piece of circuitry in countless electronic devices, including televisions, cell phones, and computers. Transistors. How cool is that? Antibiotics saved a whole lot of life. Alright. Oh goodness, no. Yeah, well, they do talk about contraceptives here. Of course, the X-ray. That's pretty cool. The refrigerator. Think about how the refrigerator changed life. Television. Cameras. Computers, email, the internet, the World Wide Web, the banknote. Currency took various forms throughout history. Due to frequent shortages of coins, banks issued paper notes as a promise against payment of precious metal in the future. The idea of using a lightweight substance as money originated in China during the Han Dynasty in 118 BC. Through travelers, Europe was introduced to the system in the 13th century. The switch to paper money relieved governments during crisis time. It changed the face of global economy with a vital step in a new monetary system. Money. Credit cards. Changing economy again. The ATM. Telephone and mobile phones. Robots. Robots are awesome. Guns changed history, films, and that's it. Okay. Oh, Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals for the tech-savvy buyer. I might use what? I could get this Arduino starter kit and bundle. No, I don't think I would use that. Oh, you're going to do a video at the Peanut Gallery? Ah, that sounds cool, Doopster. I would like that. A flex capacitor USB car charger. That's so funny. Scientific magnetic putty. Ooh, that looks good. All right. Of all these, I would want. I don't like spending a lot of money, but this is probably a lot of money. The Arduino starter kit and bundle. $60. I have everything else. I actually have a lot of this, except I don't have the actual Arduino. I have like a bead board. I have like all of the wires. I have like a electronics introduction kit. I have a bunch. I think I have some of this stuff, but I don't have this. I don't have this. So that would be kind of cool. But, oh, that's cool. It reminds me of those like little mom and pop peanut places, which are really good. Ooh, color changing graphene bubbles mesmerizing. Scissor Fight, I guess you found what I like. I like interesting engineering. Oh goodness, Mad Dog. Mechanical pixels could create flexible screens more durable than that of LEDs. That's pretty cool. They could create holographs and things like that. I know, I was thinking I could get on the list to get a Raspberry Pi. That would be kind of cool. Oh, I just said, Dupster, it sounds like a little, one of those mom and pop, little stores. They're always really cool. Well, I'm glad that she's just a sweet old lady. Did she say something like she loves Trump or something? I don't know. Oh, Drag King, that's hilarious. It is annoying, but the more you just ignore it, then maybe it'll go away. That's my belief. I should be looking at the YouTube chat, I know, but David doesn't open it up. And then I don't open it up. I'm sorry. Yeah, I have her. What is the T313?
Thank you so much. True story, yeah. The tea that heals fibromyalgia, yeah, and lupus. I pulled our one of the pies out, put it in the big refrigerator if you want some of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I might have some pie. That's a good idea.
Thank you.
All right.
It's good for the soul. Pie is pumpkin pie. Tate came out great. Color changing bandages indicate types of infections. This is interesting. This will be good for tomorrow. They change color based on the type of infection they are. That's amazing. Wow. So if you have gangrene, it'll know immediately that you have to chop your foot off. Good
I always put this over here so that I can see.
I know. I just want to, but I don't want to spend a lot of time with it. It changes colors.
Glows. I don't know if I want something that glows right next to my skin.
Yeah.
That's trying to heal.
The nanocapsules of fluorescent dye engage. They meet the chemicals produced by questionable bacteria. No, I want a Band-Aid that tells me if I have Ebola. You know, so I know right away that I got to get to a hospital.
Just get out of my way. I got Ebola.
All right. Well,
you want to go to a hospital, spread more infection? I would probably just quarantine myself. Be like, leave me alone. I'm gonna die. I've got Ebola. I don't have Ebola.
Yeah, I'm gonna get. Pardon my link. Thank you. Okay. A Band-Aid that tells you if you have AIDS. I'm not sure what the backbone is of your backbeat is. I mean, you got here you go, and you give me a link, and it's a backbeat. Do I have the royalties to use this?
He's giving it to the other guy. No.
Okay.
Not that I know of.
All right. Well, did you see this?
No.
Ah, pizza. So beautiful, you could hang it on the wall of a museum.
Some weird guy putting out a secret pizza party read of a book for kids. I am running for president, yes. Thanks for coming in, but you've been muted for 15 minutes. You're severely disturbed. You are?
You can ship it, and it would be okay by the time it got here, Dupster?
Obi-Wan says, Dave, I missed your show. I haven't logged in for 3 months. I'm pissed I didn't hear what you had to say about the outcome of the election. And here's a Raspberry Pi for under $30. Let's check it out. Well, Obi-2 needs to realize that Obi-Wan Kenobi is pissed off beyond belief, and Star Wars has been canceled. Yeah, I went through 2 days of just ranting every day about how Trump is going to sell our country to Russia. Now, after the ranting, I accomplished something. Trump has decided that he can't run his business out of the White House. So I succeeded. Did you hear?
Oh, yay.
Yeah, I succeeded. My ranting has really paid off, and the worldwide audience is really helping too.
David, you won. Good job. Keep up those rants.
Thank you.
Not really, but keep up that. Pursue your beliefs.
I will. Okay.
I don't know if I will, Drag King.
Agree with Dave or get banned.
Go.
No, mute.
Like, take a nap.
Take a nap. Have some pumpkin pie. We got 2 million people watching, but you can take a nap. That's okay. I don't mind.
Well, they want to watch you. That's why they're here.
Well, I want to look at mesmerizing images from the graphene balloon. Cool. I will continue the show on to 9:30, where we then play videos.
What was that? Yeah, you'll have to figure that out.
Cool. Thank you. And we turned the heater on in the main bedrooms because we're getting a little colder here. Washington State is finally getting a little bit of that northwest coolness, but we've had a pretty mild winter so far. It's amazing how warm, thanks to all the chemtrails down in California and the aerosols that are evaporating the ozone layer. We really are looking at a much warmer, radiant sky now. Yeah, thank you. Who is it that's doing this? Rothschild? Thank you, Rothschilds, for making Washington really wet like a sponge. How do you know you have 2 million viewers? We have confirmation from Korea TV, and Sydney One came in and told us that we're number one in their market with a huge audience and a growing recurring audience in South Korea as well. Yeah. Thanks to UHF. If it wasn't for UHF, we would probably not even be able to get our message out. UHF seems to be violating the cardinal rule of mainstream media censorship. People who have UHF channels don't pay hardly anything to do this, so they have the ability to create their own infrastructure. It's the creeping crud of reality that regionalization is eventually going to kick the ass of globalization. Like right now, the internet is moving around and morphing into something. Everybody who's being censored on Reddit and Twitter for using words like Pizzagate are now opening up on other sites. New internet opportunities abound now. So the feds aren't going to be able to keep up with the morphing that is going to go on and the twisting and turning to push for more and more democracy. Now the feds are really trying to eliminate anybody who can smoke a cigarette anywhere, and they're going to ban smoking inside of a public housing building. This is just one of the many things that they're doing. If you live in public housing, snuff out those butts. You know, one of our supporters, or not supporters, viewers, because I don't think Ed ever supported us. One of our viewers just got diagnosed with lung cancer, and he's been smoking despite doctor's orders for years, and now he's in a hospital, and we're really feeling bad about him. Doopster says there's 140 people in our room. Cool. Well, anyways, if you guys see Ed online, you can check out his show. He does a show from the hospital room, and you can share his story, you know. When does the show start? I don't know when his show starts. Probably in a couple, he's going to do his show off and on from the hospital room. I even seen 100 haters starting to watch. Yeah, well, the haters starting to understand that I'm talking about a message that you can't get in the mainstream media. We do know that an interesting piece of information. Look at this, just popped in. Every single movie that Jackie Kennedy watched in the White House. No, you cannot eat chicken raw. No, it's got to be cooked. The threat of salmonella is too great. So don't go munching on any live gerbils either. That's a very dangerous thing to do. Always cook your gerbils before you eat them. Morgoth would like to contact my contact in Korea. I don't have contacts in Korea TV. I don't communicate with other countries except they come in the chat room and tell me these things. I'm not sharing personal emails with anyone in Korea TV. Yeah. So here she is. Here's the list. Okay. Wasn't that great? Did you read all those names? I hope you saw that. Let me go a little slower. Oh, this is good. The Misfits, 1961.
Clark Gable. Clark Gable. Frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn.
As he played opposite, in one of his last movies, Gable and Monroe. So she was watching Monroe. Yeah. While Monroe was allegedly doing her husband. This is unreal. How many adult USA citizens do you think? I don't know. We've been censored on USA television for so long, I can't even tell you. Like I said, the critical mass of the world audience will bring back an interview. Every single interview that I've done in America has been banned. Even my alma mater, UCLA, wouldn't even give me an interview for the Daily Bruin. I give him an hour and a half interview, and he wouldn't even publish it. His overseers said, no, we won't do it. We won't give this guy any media time. They're afraid to give me media time because I make sense. I never dropped out of UCLA. That's a lie. Bannable offense. Bye. I was just waiting for Morgoth to say something bannable. No, I left in good standing. Technically, I could go back to UCLA right now and take a class. I could take Marxism 101 or Economic Marxism 101 or Geographic Marxism 101. I think they're offering a social science course in Marxism as well for sociologists who want to study Marxism. And if you want to continue your education in Marxism, you can get a degree in any one of those schools at UCLA in Marxism. Yeah, we didn't like Morgoth anyways. He's worthless. And we'll see what his new name will be, because he knows he has a couple of names he's secured on the internet. All right, good. I'm glad I've gotten a response from some of these scumbags in here. Dutch doctor performs euthanasia on a struggling alcoholic. You know, this whole euthanasia thing, I think we should change the name. You know, death with dignity makes more sense, because the euthanasia are doing just fine. Oh, see, I don't think we should just have pills people can just take willy-nilly to kill themselves. I'm sorry. Mark Langencheek said that his life was full of misery and suffering due to his battle with alcoholism. His battle with alcoholism. You know, despite what doctors say that alcoholism is a disease, I mean, you can stop drinking. I mean, my God. It's not even a debilitating disease unless you developed stage 4 liver cancer or cirrhosis of the liver. I don't eat dolphin. No. I will admit to having a few a little Dorado down in Cabo, But Dorado is a type of porpoise, but I wouldn't eat a dolphin. Dorado is incredible if you haven't had it. They fish it down in Cabo San Lucas. Maybe you should like to go down there for lunch. You could take my copter, and we'll be back in time for lunch. Don't ever screw me, Tony. Former NIST employee speaks out, says Tower 7 investigation bogus, government denied evidence. Thank you. And I want to remind everybody that Donald Trump has some level of concern about investigating the 9/11 incident. I believe he's going to look into this. Or so he says. I don't really know what to believe anymore from Donald Trump. He's flipped about 4 times on every issue. But here is the story. I'm reopening the investigation of 9/11, he said. Now remember, this was during a time period when he was copying every idea I've ever come up with. So I will reinvestigate the 9/11 investigation. But he says he's going to do it. So here's the link. I want all of you to hold this in your memory banks to see if he doesn't flip on this, because he might flip. Oh, you're here to update the file. Record is clean. You're currently online in North Korea, Cuba, and the interior of China. We have not cut your transmission. Your audience is currently 3.5 million. Thank you so much. NSA's here, folks. They're here to tell me my live audience is 3.5 million. Thank you, everybody. Well, you guys have been watching my shows in recorded broadcasts, and you've been wondering how to get into these chat rooms. I'll tell you, I would love for all of you to be able to chat with me, even in your own language. But we're not there yet. Our technology is still waiting. We're waiting on a new chat room to open up called blogtv.ca. And I still have hope that they're going to do this. But the launch date has been put off, and we're a little pissed off because we were hoping we'd have dual chat rooms for you by now. We can chat, we can give you other links to the YouTube channels to watch our show, etc. But a lot of people just want to come in as guests, and that's the growing trend in chat, especially political chat. They don't want to have their identities known, so that's why we open up viewers and guest chat all the time, against the words of some of our supporters. Blog TV would not allow 1 million accounts per IP. There you go. So a lot of people just want to come in and chat. Now, I've never seen some of these movies that the former First Lady watched. This is called Unreadable Movie Title. And she watched this in June 20th, 1961. I bet that's the sex tape of her and Marilyn. I mean, Marilyn and him. Unreadable Movie Title. What does that mean? It's like, what was Jacqueline Kennedy watching when she watched it? There was no porn at the time. Well, yes, there was. There was porn, but it wasn't on... They didn't have any DVDs. All they had at that time was actual film. Could have been like a 16 millimeter film of her husband and Marilyn secretly taken in the back of the wine rack. I heard the wine rack is where he did his 15-minute thing with women. I don't. In fact, I've never wanted to have any naked pictures taken of me. Being my exoskeleton would be exposed. You see, under my shirt, you'll see the mechanistic electronics that they created. Let me show you. Some people say, do you have hair on your chest, David? No, I have circuitry. Oh, I can't show you. I'm sorry. The NSA told me I'm not allowed to show my circuitry. I'm just messing with you, man. I'm promoting a rumor that I'm a robot. It's one of my tools that I'm using to defy the censorship. Tombstone Pizza may have been throwing it in our faces the entire time. Tombstone. Whoa. So this is Tombstone pizza boxes. And they look like you know who. Tony and John. Wow. So Tombstone Pizza has it right there, big company, selling it at the market. It looks like like John Podesta in the top picture, his brother Tony in the second one. That is amazing. Oh, folks, this is turning into a bizarre series of events. As the Pizzagate story gets suppressed everywhere, we've got videos we're going to be playing you later tonight at 9:30 that are being shut down all over the internet. For some reason, the NSA wants me to keep doing this, so we're going to keep doing this. But, yeah. I'm going to open up my Gmail. I just got an email from my sister. She's following the story, too, from various channels on the internet that bring up stuff. SGT just came up with a real humdinger. It says, watch, oh my God, Pizzagate just got got even darker than Eyes Wide Shut. Here we go. This is a little information stream that we just picked up. This is the SGT report. We'll start with that at 9:30.
Hey guys, Sean here from SGT Report. I'm not even sure how to introduce this video. It's clear now if this message allegedly posted on Comet Ping Pong's message board is legitimate and accurate. This is the most disturbing thing you'll ever see, and it proves that Pizzagate has now reached eyes wide shut levels of Satanism. I'm going to play this report. This was posted by Joe Biggs on his Twitter account today.
All right, that'll be coming up at the bottom of the hour. Thank you. Wow. I mean, and it's supposedly they're trading in children. And all of the eyes of the internet are looking at these pedos finally, after all these years of trying to wake people up. There's finally a trace of sanity coming back to the media that we know as the internet. Phenomenal. Red shoe symbolism related to Pizzagate. Okay, Zara, thanks. Person from China saying something. You know, if you go to Google Translate, you can translate your things into English for us, so I can read it quicker. No, the Pizzagate is... Yeah, Pizzagate was revealed... and what happened was it was a terrible release for the elitists. They didn't realize that these WikiLeaks that they thought were benign, filtered information, that they'd done a word search on dangerous words that would come up. Hillary, kickbacks, they probably did a screening on Benghazi, words that should not have, been released to the public. But they didn't put a filter through for cheese pizza. And it turns out that that's a key word used by pedophiles as part of a secret language. And that's when the emails started popping up. And now the Podesta brothers are trying to shut down the story by creating the illusion that there's all this fake news out there, that we have to stop the fake news channels. So naturally, they're calling all the news channels that are revealing the inner secrets of the cabal that's running our government, the secret satanistic child killers. Now they're trying to say that all this news about that is fake. That's basically the story in a nutshell. 24 countries where the money contains meat. They're putting meat in the money. This is really adds meaning to the word putting your money where your mouth is. Someday we may be trading in beef jerky if the world devolves into barter economy. I'm serious. Oh, I'll trade you 3 pieces of beef jerky for that gerbil over there. This week, some people in Britain and Canada were shocked to learn that their money contains trace amounts of animal fat. The new banknotes are using minimal byproducts that are found in everything from credit cards, animal byproducts found from credit cards and crayons, to glue and soap. But Britain and Canada aren't the only ones. 24 other countries have this level of animal byproduct in the meat resins themselves. A trace amount of tallow is used by some of our component resin suppliers, says one person. Innovia Security. Australia, Brunei, Canada, Chile, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Guatemala, Honduras, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Mauritania, Mauritius, Mexico, Mozambique, New Zealand, Nicaragua, Nigeria, Papua New Guinea, Paraguay, Romania, Singapore, United Kingdom, Vanuatu, and Vietnam. Okay, so if you're in any one of those countries, apparently you can eat the bills that you're currently engaged in trading. No halal credit cards. And a lot of these currencies, by the way, are kosher. So many of you will be very happy to know. Is this not the weirdest world we've lived in all our lives? I did not get a call from Trump tonight. Next time he calls me, tell him to say, Donald Trump, so I'll know who's calling me. I get a lot of spammers and trolls calling me from their mother's basement. You lived in Port Moresby for 2 months. No kidding, huh? M Mix going back to fresh meat. McDee's no longer will feature pink slime to elevate their concern for the quality of their food. McDonald's is morphing into something actually healthy. Look at that. You know, here the going overall trend is for people to not eat meat because it wastes tremendous amounts of water. We're talking about Wasteful Wednesday tonight, right? Well, I have this theory that they're pushing GMO soy on our entire population to kill us all off. That's why they want to get us away from eating meat. That's just my theory. Okay, McDonald's began testing fresh rather than frozen beef in a handful of stores earlier this year, and considering the subpar quality of its burgers, this certainly sounds like a good thing, or does it? A recent survey of McDonald's franchisees suggests store owners are concerned about the introduction of fresh burger patties could end up spelling disaster for the brand. They're working to freshen up their image. A lot of like Wendy's uses fresh beef, the Shake Shack. But in a survey conducted by financial services group Nomura, 24 McDonald's franchisees warned against the addition of fresh beef, arguing it could slow down service in a restaurant that prides itself on speed. Even worse, the beef could lead to contamination issues. Oh, so the franchisees, owners of 24 McDonald's restaurants are in other words, saying that it's better not to have fresh beef? No wonder their problems continue. I mean, their owners don't even understand the importance of the end product. I mean, I'm confused by the lack of awareness in American capitalism today. The customer is always right. And the customer doesn't want to eat pink slime. Harvey's Buck Burgers lets you put $5 worth of veggies on it. There you go. Okay, guess 213. You know that there's a serious dental crisis happening. People are losing their teeth in the Appalachian area of America. Mountain Dew-itis, believe it or not, is a serious problem. And if you're a big soda drinker, you may want to rinse your mouth out after drinking a soda. What do you mean Safeway is closing down? Safeway can't close down. They're owned by Cerberus, the three-headed dog that guards the gates of hell. Oh, wait a second. That's exactly what a three-headed dog would do. Shut down your food supply. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Cerberus is the corporation that bought up the Safeways, so I'm interested in hearing more about that mad dog. They were bought by Aldi? No kidding. I've got to track this. I guess the Cerberus just flipped the company. Wow, that was fast. A big rig fire in Westminster on Garden Grove Boulevard. Okay. Oh, this is serious, folks. This is where I used to grow up. I grew up in Garden Grove, right near Westminster. Wow. I'm sorry, the media cannot be played. Okay. I can handle that. I have to open up my Opera browser to play that. Hold, please. 10-4. Here we go. Hopefully nobody's hurt. You sing the songs that make the young girls cry. You know, that should not be sung anymore. I think there's going to be laws against any words like that in any songs. No, I'm kidding. All of this paranoia and fear going on in the world, and now we've got this weird Pizzagate going on. Okay, that's just not playing. That is a serious tanker fire in the city in the county of Orange County, California. Wow.
I know.
You know, I'm not really a person who gets into this pyromania thing, so you don't mind if I just step out and not watch it? Refreshing. Yeah, it just sounds a little weird. More pedo stuff here going on. Pictures of weird kids. Photos that were taken of the Podesta's families. Links to child pedophilia going all the way to the Vatican. This is turning out to be one of the weirdest post-election times in our history, with the apparent discovery of this Pizzagate WikiLeaks reveal. And the strangest thing, Donald Trump, who's normally talking about everything from the Hamilton play, which Pence went to, and making a big storm about Hamilton, disrespecting Pence when they made some statements about open opportunity for people, to recently Trump started running a raging story about how he was going to, make sure that anybody who burns a flag is going to have their citizenship revoked, leaving them with what? What citizenship would they be? A non-citizen of the universe? Anyway, there's not one single tweet on Pizzagate from Donald Trump. Isn't that interesting? Is he seriously considering investigating the Podestas? Has anyone gotten a commitment from him on this at all? Could some of you Trump-tards who really support Trump contact him and ask him, please, Donald, could you make a point of investigating Mr. Podesta? Could you please? No, I mean it, you Trump-tard, 650. 650 is a Trump-tard. We just freshed him out. Comedian Will Ferrell roasted Dodgers pitcher Clayton Kershaw on Thursday as they hosted the 4th annual Ping Pong for Purpose charity event at Dodger Stadium. Here we go, ping pong again. Will Ferrell. This is looking a little strange. Some people say I am Will Ferrell because I look like him or something. I get so many people say to me, David, you look like Will Ferrell. I'm not Will Ferrell.
Publicist, guys, right on. And then when he's done, right. One more. Powder blue. Thank you. And I do. There. I say one on the top of the right here. Right up here.
I'm getting a little creeped out. I mean, I don't know if Will Ferrell even knows that the word ping pong is now going viral. At ping pong is the new one. At Pizzagate is the old one. Trump is anti-American, really? Dave the Anchor Sponheim. I know Deep Down has the video I just showed you. Yep, I just showed you. Deep Down, I'm going to play that at 9:30 in 9 minutes. That's the video my sister referred me to. Yeah. Wild stuff going on here. As if it couldn't get any weirder, SGT report just uncovered an Instagram message talking about 4 children, referring to them as pizzas. We are reaching out to 3 million viewers a night, folks. We just had confirmation from the NSA that we've got 3 million active viewers a night. Isn't that amazing? Coming from a guy who doesn't even have any subscribers on YouTube to speak of. And we've been censored on YouTube for 7 years, going on six years, since 2011. So I'm going to say going on 6 years. No, it's true. Beekman, it's a bannable offense. I'm going to give you one last warning before I ban you. And calling me crazy is also defamation of character. I will sue you. Trump to ask foreign governments for what? Donations to his campaign? Oh. Huh. This is what gets me. Trump doesn't have the balls to investigate Hillary Clinton, but he's circuitously asking foreign governments to probe the Clinton Foundation. Can you believe this? This is the guy you said was going to jail Clinton? What a joke. This guy won't even prosecute Obama. What a joke. You should be ashamed of yourself, you Trump tards. Now, and by the way, did Trump make any statement at all on Pizzagate? Anything? Could you track his Twitters and just go through it for me? Is there a service that will actually filter out and do a search based alphabetically on Trump's tweets? Can you check into this for me? Because I really, has he piped in on Pizzagate? Because he hasn't mentioned anything about his friend Jeffrey Epstein once. Yeah, I'm wondering why he's not coming out with a story, a damage control or something. Because you know it's going to come back and bite him in the ass. Yeah, you don't think this thing isn't going to spread all the way to Jeffrey Epstein's Orgy Island? Oh, God, okay. A few more minutes and we're out of here. 7 more minutes and I'm ready to move on to my next phase. Trump turds. They're not Trump tards, they're Trump turds. They're already composting. They're sitting back going, oh, I'm so glad Trump won. Now he's going to make America great again. You're the psycho, asshole. Get the hell out of here. You people just can't handle the truth, can you? Boy, you people just don't understand. When I can spot a moron a mile away and you Trump tards, you reek of retardation. All right, let me clean up my chat room here. I've got one thing for tomorrow night that looks very interesting. It's called the graphene balloon. It's mesmerizing. Let me see what this has got going on. 16 seconds of this puppy. Ooh. Oh, I like that. Some of you are getting a little turned on. You couldn't get within three miles of my personal body, dude. Yeah, threatening me in a chat room. Boy, you really, you go to new lows. I'm going to seduce no one. I'm going to sue anybody who tries to defame me in this show. In fact, could you just send me your IP address to my email, AmericasThirdParty @gmail.com, and I'll have my attorney serve you. Thank you. I'm waiting for your email. Yeah, go for it. And be sure to include your IP address. Give me your full snail mail address, too, because I'm going to sue the crap out of you, buddy. Look, I got chunks of guys like you in my stools. Let me take a look at an amazing audio clip. You know, I had not, for 8 years, I did not say the word shit more than 2 times. But the Trump election brought out 18 uses of the word shit in my show. And Scissorfight grabbed it and made a heavy metal theme out of it.
All gloves are off. Shit was on the table.
And the shit has hit the fan. You can't put another Hitler in the White House. It's not going to happen under my watch. I'm not done here.
You think this is a joke? I'm just getting started, you scummy pieces of crap.
I'm not done here. I'm not done here. All gloves are off. Shit is on the table. And the shit has hit the fan. All gloves are off. Shit is on the table.
We can't stop
and
and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop.
So let's be clear. In this coming election year, vote for David Sponheim. America's Third Party.
Sponheim for president.
Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop.
First we hit 'em low, then we hit 'em high. Underrated, but we made it to the finish line. Rhymes designed to combine and intertwine. Spring to the summer, fall, even winter time. Beats banging harder, then head-on collisions. We make incisions with precision and quick decisions, causing double visions. If you ain't up to speed, you need to speed it up, partner. Piano read.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, and we won't stop.
In this coming election year, vote for David Sponheim.
I mean, he's so blatantly stupid. He's a punk. He's a dog. He's a pig. He's a con, a bullshit artist, a mutt who doesn't know what he's talking about, doesn't do his homework, doesn't care, thinks he's gaming society, doesn't pay his taxes. He's an idiot. Colin Powell said it best. He's a national disaster. He's an embarrassment to this country. It makes me so angry that this country has gotten to this point, that this fool, this bozo, has wound up where he has. He talks how he wants to punch people in the face. Well, I'd like to punch him in the face.
Okay, that wraps it up. We're going to the videos now. Thank yous for coming in, everybody. We're trying to make you all aware of the shillery going on in the White House. Trump now claims that he's not going to conduct his business in the White House after all, even though he says it's legal to do so, which is completely not true. It is utterly illegal for him to conduct business in the White House, and he should have known that when he started blabbing about it a couple days ago. Thank you for coming in, everybody. This is awesome. We got Truth Blocked, Fake News Tactics. Scissor Fight's got more videos. We got lots of stuff to talk about tonight. Yeah, really interesting things happening. The media is like morphing as we go.
It looks like I hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
When I...
So we're going to take a look, first of all, this video that came out earlier. SGT just brought this in, breaking. Let's go there. And we're going to find out more and more about this reveal of the secret child molesters in Washington. Thank you. Good show. Thanks for coming in, 740. We'll see you tomorrow night for Technology Thursday. I'm over here. Thank you. See you later, everyone.